Oh my god, I need one of those.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Saga of Dice podcast. It looks like my mic is working, so for once, we are not a dumpster fire. Joining me, as usual, is my co-host Carson. How's it going, Carson?
Doing pretty well. My dog is currently screaming. How are you?
You're not screaming, or you are?
No, my dog is currently screaming.
Oh, okay. I didn't even hear him.
Yeah, that's good.
Good white quality, and we've got a special guest back with us. Is Dan Schwind? Did I pronounce that right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, cool. So we're going to be talking about tournaments in for Age of Sigmar, kind of our likes, our dislikes. It's kind of a special one this week because Dan is got a tournament that he's hosting coming up, which we'll talk about in just a moment. I've got the preview page and everything all ready. I forgot to add it to the description though.
Wow.
Dang it, I just remembered right now.
Wow.
There's too many things to get ready. So I will add it. Do let me know in the comments if anyone's watching. I don't think I've gotten a chance for people. I've given people a chance to kind of come in. But let me know how the audio levels are. Streamlabs is a dumpster fire sometimes, so it just changes things on me. So, but first, before we go into some tournament talk, did you guys see the preview image today? The leaked.
I did have a chance to take a look. Yeah, it's very. It's obviously chaos.
It's obviously
But,
yeah, Chaos Star.
Wait,
Yeah.
what? I didn't see this.
Oh, really? It's up on the screen.
I guess I'm living under a rock.
It's
Maybe
it's the rumor engine. I don't know if you have it up or not. I
uh,
don't actually. You know what? I'll send it to you right now. We're doing it live, people. It's just basically like a partial image of a Chaos Star.
Yeah, exactly.
I
I feel like it could be Slaves to Darkness. It could be. Actually, it probably is Slaves to Darkness if it's AOS.
okay. Yeah,
I think anyway.
yeah. I
Like-
think that makes sense.
like a second wave.
Well, there
Well, no, because
is.
we've got all the Dawnbringer books coming.
Yeah,
like,
the Dawnbringer
Oswald
stuff
is a
coming.
hero.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's 100%.
So they
chaos.
said that 12 factions or 12 or 13 factions are gonna get an update. So that's like
I
a
think
little
that's
more
pretty
than a third, I think, roughly.
Oh well.
So it seems likely, but honestly, it could be 40K as well. Like that's the thing.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this does. So I did send it to you, Dan. Um,
Yeah, it's
this
100% a chaos star.
Right? Yeah. So, but the problem with this though for me is that this is my least favorite kind of like preview image because it's like we know what it is, but it doesn't allow us. It doesn't allow our imagination to run with it or even postulate or have kind of fun with, coming up with possible ideas. It's just like we know it's a chaos star. We know it's for chaos. Okay, it's kind of boring.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like
we
if
just
it was
got-
like 3 millimeters lower, then it would have been much more interesting. You could see like the
Exactly.
back of whatever this is on or something.
I mean, honestly, like half the time, even just a foot would be more interesting than this because at least we can kind of go like, well, it looks kind of old, so it could be Age of Sigmar. Like he's got kind of like a commoner's boot, But this is just like, yeah, okay. Anyway, so some other pieces of news. We have they did some old world kind of news, and they announced like the core factions that are going to be in it. Um, as usual, the old world Facebook group had like a meltdown about it, but but I kind of get it. Like I'm not having a meltdown, but like I'm not jazzed that like most of my favorite factions are not going to be like a part of the story and stuff. Like Skaven and Lizardmen are just going to be, like a background image. And yeah, I was hoping, to get like a new Skaven army book. And yeah, I am
Well,
disappointed.
the important faction was there, so that's all that matters.
One second. That would be Orc and Goblin, right?
Yes.
Nailed it. Yes. Did you hear that ogres are not going to be in it, Carson?
I did hear that, yeah. It's kind of interesting that they're
That's
excluding a
weird.
lot of the older factions, or
Well,
the factions that were previously in fantasy. So,
so I get the reason why. The reason why is because Skaven had a civil war during this time and were embroiled, and Seraphon were all only down in Lustria. Like, I get it. Or, sorry, Lizardmen. But I don't care. Like, also, there's, like, literally a Skaven within 6 feet of every person in the old world at all times. Like,
Yeah.
isn't it possible that there's a rogue army occasionally going up and fighting a battle? Like, come on, guys. Like, they're just making an excuse, if I'm being honest. But
it
do any of these factions interest you, Carson?
Bretonia, 100% Bretonia.
Hmm.
But I was going to say that this does say core factions, which means that it's possible that maybe they expand somehow in the lore in the
That's
future, bringing
it's
these armies
they
back
will.
in.
it's
But,
possible for sure. And I mean, you know, I'm just kind of annoyed because it's like Skaven once again get the shaft. You know what I mean? Like they're holding true to that meme. They're most. Oh, I'll stop. I've said it a million times. I won't say. I won't keep going. But whatever. It is what it is. I do love Wood Elves. So it looks like Wood Elves are going to be getting new models, a book, and so I can just play Wood Elves because I've got a bunch of Wood Elves, on squares and everything. So that's fine. But anyway, um, and then we got some new models shown. The Dawnbringer Relic Envoys. Um, I actually first of all, Dan, did you see these models?
I did, and they're cool except for the hair.
The hair.
I don't understand the hair. Like they were trying to do like a comet.
Oh.
Like at least that's what it looks like to me. Like it looks like the Sigmar comet. Like the ends of it is like coming up. I don't know. It looks weird.
They look very
Like,
windswept.
they got helmet hair.
Actually, maybe that's
true,
what it
they do have
is.
helmet hair.
Yeah, that's actually a
Nope.
good call. I kind of like it more with that thought. I don't mind the older guy's hair, but I'm not a big fan of banana hair.
But like they're the
Yeah.
same. What's the chances of both of them removing their helmets and their helmet hair being the
Well,
exact
well,
same
one
way?
guy's kind of like mushed to the side, and then the other guy's kind of like he looks like a sprout. Wait, maybe you're talking about the other guys because there's more guys. Here, I'll show the other guys that were. Oh, actually, the guy with the guns and the main guy, the first
Yeah.
guy that they show, they are more similar, aren't they?
Maybe that is the same guy. Now that I think about it, maybe that is the same guy,
Oh,
and that's
maybe.
just options for him.
But if they have the same head option, anyway,
Um,
I
they're cool
overall
though.
they're super cool.
They just have one flaw.
Yeah, I get
Their
it.
skin is not green.
Not where I thought you were gonna go with. Nice bait and switch, sir. That was well
Where
done.
did you think I was going with that? Or do I want to know?
No, I thought you were talking about their hair. You were just talking about their hair.
Oh, no.
Yeah, yeah. That was the perfect bait and switch. Like I
No.
thought you.
Yeah,
Like,
totally meant to do that. Yep.
yeah, yeah. Like man, the hair is the one thing. There's just one flaw with them guys. Their skin isn't green. It's like, oh shit. Flawless victory. Carson, what do you think, man?
I think they're super cool. It's definitely tempting me for Cities of Sigmar,
Yes.
even though I'm not to be tempted. I just got into slaves, but
Yes.
yeah,
But
it
you
looks
know
super
what's
cool.
cool? Okay, you know what's cool, Carson, though? And I know you don't. I'm truly a drug dealer in this regard, but it's so awesome when you have like two factions on either side that could be like mortal enemies. Like I first got Skaven, and then I second got Lizardmen, and Lizardmen and Skaven are like mortal enemies, and they often fight each other, and I just love having both sides of the conflict. So
That's true.
I'm
Yeah,
just
So
saying.
do you
yeah,
like
because
do you set
ogres are
up
kind of just
battles?
sorry.
Do you, Rob, do you set up battles on your table at home and like
I only do that in the bathtub. Okay.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what you've heard. Only in the
I mean, I
bathtub.
do it.
Yeah, I know, absolutely. Depends on how many drinks I've got in me.
It
Yeah.
doesn't take much. Let me
No,
tell
it
you,
doesn't.
folks.
No,
It does
no,
not take
I'm a
much.
lightweight now. It's true. Yeah. If it's in the bathtub, it's usually like a nice Chardonnay. You know, pew pew pew. I tend to do
Chardonnay
it
and
more
Splenda.
with 40k. You know.
That's fair.
Yeah. My Space Marine faction is called the Krakengare, and they're like a water specialist faction, so it makes more sense there.
Also, they live in the toilet or the toilet. They live in the bathtub.
Ninth edition, they
Toilet's like a
mostly
drop
lived
pod.
in the toilet. Actually, yeah, that's
That's
not
fair. Yeah.
inaccurate.
Fair.
um, okay, and then finally, my babies are coming home. We just got the prices today, I want to say.
Roll the Seraphon.
Yeah. Did you guys see this?
I had a chance to look over them. Yeah, I'm also surprised that Vanguard box isn't coming out yet. That's odd.
Yeah. Well,
Oh yeah.
did that's true. I mean, I guess the Slaves to Darkness, their Vanguard box was so much late, like, or their release was so much later. I don't know, but
Oh, because they both did get the FOMO box, right? Because
yeah, they
Slaves
both.
got
Yep.
the one with the special edition book too.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why they're
It,
holding off.
it
They
could
want to sell
be,
all the FOMO boxes
or
first.
they just know that it's going to
Yep.
be popular no matter what. They're just like, suck it, losers. Like, you know.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I really wonder what's going to be inside of it though.
Uh, I bet you Warriors. I bet you it's going to be Warriors, like half a skink box. Um, an Astrolith because everyone's already going to buy theirs when it comes out right away. Um, what maybe
Well, how much is the slan?
maybe well
Price?
okay, so
$100 Canadian.
the Slan is $100 Canadian. I think
I
he's
don't speak fake money. I don't,
yeah, that's smart. I don't know. I saw it in American. I saw it in real money, but I don't know what it is. I think it was
Look,
85.
our money isn't fake. You know, it's just made of plastic and smells like maple syrup. There's nothing fake about that. Come on. And
Yeah.
I'm not lying about that.
Sugar,
That's
sugar and
actually what it is.
spice. My good sir. Yeah. So the Raptidons are going to be $80. That was completely like that. There's no surprise there because a lot of the other cavalry is $80 for like a similar base size and whatnot. Saurus
okay,
Warrior.
so
Yep.
how much are your or your Vanguard boxes?
I think they're
usually?
180.
And you said
No,
the
they're
slan's
170.
100.
The Slan's 100. So I think he's 85 American.
So he's too expensive to go in there.
Yeah, I don't think
He
they would
might
put
be.
him in the army box and the Vanguard as well.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
okay.
I think
so-
they'll do this. Oh, sorry.
No, well, I was just gonna say, why don't we go over the prices first, real quick? We'll go over them in Canadian. I don't happen to have them here, unfortunately, but
You're good.
and then
I'll get my Monopoly money and count it out.
cool, perfect, and then why don't we compare, figure out what was in the Chaos, the Slaves to Darkness
Sure.
one, and we can kind of see how much of that carries over.
Look at
Okay.
how smart you are, Rob.
I don't know about that. So, because I'm gonna order way too much of this stuff. Like, if I was smart, I would not be ordering. I might cancel some stuff just because, like. Anyway, so Saurus Warriors are gonna be 75. I actually don't think that's totally unreasonable because they're bulky. They're pretty big,
Yeah, they're really big.
and
I
there's
love
10 of them.
so much.
Me too. I think they're basically perfect. The Croxagore, which have amazing looking models too, but are T-rash compared to all their counterparts like Ogroids and and Rock Guts and stuff like that. But they're really cool. So that's what I'm on the fence about ordering. I really wanted to order 6 of them because they look so badass. But they're going to be 75 for 3, right? The Scar Veteran on Agradon is maybe my favorite model they've ever made. I'm not sure. I'll have to see it in person, but I love it. He's $70. But he's like a hero, and he's pretty big.
Favorite model ever made?
Oh, he's up there.
For Lizardman?
Definitely. I don't actually. They're right now. My favorite models are all Seraphon because they all have new models. Like, and until Skaven get a revamp, I don't see that changing.
You're telling me out of every Lizardman model, because I don't know about you, because you started Lizardmen when they were Lizardmen,
Yeah.
like me, right?
I
Like it was
literally
the
started
first.
them. That was my first box that I bought when it first came out. Was fifth
Yeah,
edition.
me
Yeah.
too. That was my introductory to Games Workshop was
Awesome.
Lizardmen.
Hell yeah.
It was a pain in the ass to put together, and it never stayed together. But
Yeah.
one of my favorite models to this day
Yeah.
is the first Carnosaur, the metal one.
Nice.
That
Nice.
that because it actually looked like a T-Rex,
It did. Yeah. They've kind of gone more to like I guess it
like a
would be
high fantasy type.
well, but like there were like Spinosaurus had like big arms. Like I think the actual Carnosaurs didn't. I think they had T-Rex arms, but there are other ones that have kind of bigger.
Is a Carnosaur a real dinosaur?
It is, yeah,
Oh, see,
and
that
kind of more
shows
of a.
how uneducated I
It
am.
had more of a square head. I mean, I was just stayed a kid and I stayed obsessed with dinosaurs.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, before I forget, so then the Skink Starseer, this one's crazy, $70. That's wild.
I was surprised to see that too.
Yeah,
Unless the throne is like huge or something, but even then, it's kind of
even
nuts.
then, like anyway, Spawn of Chotek, 65. That's too expensive
No one's
because
gonna buy
like
that.
the ballista, well, the ballista were like $40. The Cruel Boys ballista, I don't know if they're still that, but when they came out, they were $40. And this is definitely going to be like an easy build one. It's not like it's going to be. It doesn't appear to be a dual kit that we know of. Slan's 100. Astrolith Bear 55. That's about par for the course. $50 is what we usually pay for the Space Marine characters, and he's got a giant banner. I don't know. Like I think he should be 50 at the most, but whatever. This is where we are. Agrodon Lancer 75 for three of them. If they have the same base size, I don't know. Like the Blood Knights and the Raptidons are all they're about the same price, and they're pretty big as well. So I don't know. And then the Battle Tome 65. That's normal. What do you guys pay? Is it $50 for your Battle Tomes?
Oh yeah.
You're right. Okay. So anyway, those are the prices. Now I'm gonna try and find the.
So the Canadian dollar is 70.
But that doesn't matter though, hey Dan, because in Australia, it's like the Canadian dollar and the Australian dollar are almost on par. The Australian dollar is a tiny bit weaker than the Canadian dollar, and they pay like what, Carson? Like 1.5 times our price for
That's
GW
insane.
stuff.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Well, we're 74 cents to every dollar that y'all
That's
have.
probably about actually. That's actually probably accurate now that I
So
think about it.
basically,
Yeah. It's not too far off the conversion rate.
Yeah, for Games Workshop as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so whenever I go to Games Workshop, it takes me to the Nurgle stuff because at one point
I
I
mean,
guess. Uh,
in a year from now, our dollar will be worth 5 cents. So, but that's a
well,
whole nother story.
I kind of look forward to that day because we import a lot of your stuff up here. Um, I remember once in my life it was actually weaker. Okay, so
I can't remember
Vanguard.
too. That was like the early 2000s or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Glorious day.
What a
Um,
great day that was. The
yeah,
one day.
yeah, that day, exactly. So in the Vanguard box, can you guys see this? Is it coming up on stream? Okay. So in the Vanguard box, you get a unit of Chaos Knights, right? A 10 pack of Warriors. Is that a Chaos Lord on foot?
Yep.
And the Chariot.
In a chariot.
And in the FOMO box, there was none of
It
this
was
stuff, right?
no. It was 10 chosen,
10, yeah,
a demon prince, and
yeah,
then 3 therodons.
right. 3 Ogroid Therodons. So none of this stuff carried over.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking they're gonna
Whew.
do more.
Skinks?
I think they're gonna go more on the Saurus Cav route. I think you'll
Whoa.
get 5.
So.
Or how many of the Saurus
They
Cav do
come
you
in
get in the
threes.
box? So I think you'll get 3 of the Saurus Cav, the dude on the Saurus Cav, and then maybe 10 Saurus.
That would be
I don't know
cool.
if they're going to give you a Scar Veteran on Agrodon. I feel like that's
But
I feel like Rob was on the money when he said the Astrolith Bear is likely to be in the box.
oh,
Oh
what
yeah, I forgot about him.
what if
Yeah, I
they
could
what
see
if they
him in the
give you the
box.
stupid? Have you guys seen the stupid old blood on foot?
Yeah,
Oh,
that'd be funny.
gross.
I guess that would kind of make sense based on what's in the Chaos box, because this is an
Yeah,
old Chaos Lord. It's not a
Isn't
exactly.
new
he
sculpt.
still on a square base though? Isn't he like sculpted into a square base?
Yeah, he has
Yeah.
like I think he has a scenic square base like
Yeah.
the Star Seer does, or Star Priest rather. Okay. Let me.
I'll be right back, y'all. I'm sorry.
No, no, not at all. No worries. I'm gonna find this ugly, brain dead looking old blood if I can. Oh wow,
But yeah, I would.
sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say that the Seraphon box, you can still buy the Seraphon box.
Oh, the start collecting.
Yeah,
Interesting.
I thought it went out of stock like right away. Here is this gentleman. Like, man, this must have been sculpted around the same time as the other guys, but yeah, as some of the old like cavalry and stuff like that. But what a long way we've come. It's hard to believe that
Yeah.
this is a square miniature. If this comes in the box though, that's not good. I actually, even though they've come in every other box, I hope it's the Star Priest. I think the Star Priest is a better, because at least it's a good model, you know. Um, I've got them right
Yeah,
here.
I think that the likely models. So basically, the Chaos Start Collecting box, or sorry, the Chaos Vanguard box is 2 new sculpts and 2 old sculpts, right?
Okay.
So I have a feeling it's going to be a similar spread with the Seraphon box.
That's a good call. So,
I actually kind of
oh,
agree that I think we're going to see some Agrodons in there, to be honest.
that would be cool. Saurus Guard
Like a group
maybe,
of 3. Maybe Saurus Guard. I
because
don't. I don't know if they're going to put Saurus Warriors in. Yeah, just because like
they're
they're in the army box and
they're
there's
in the army box, and we saw 0 carryover as you said.
yeah.
So Saurus
So maybe Skinks.
Skinks and Saurus Guard. Oh, that'd be such a bad
I,
box
I don't think
though.
they would do 2 like battle line. I think what they would do probably is like
Maybe.
1 new battle line of some kind, either Saurus Guard or sorry, Saurus Warriors or Agrodons.
Yeah.
But probably Agrodons, and then we'll probably see like 1.
Maybe a monster like a Stegodon or a Bastiladon. Because
We're lucky.
they
But
keep
yeah,
adding those to the they keep adding them to like the different sets.
that's true. And then I think it's likely to see either one of the old heroes or probably the Astrolith Bear, I think. Because
Yeah.
I guess they haven't paid attention to this in the past, but like Astrolith Bear is something that I could kind of see including multiple in your army, maybe. Like, or maybe they would argue that you could bring multiple in your army, whereas like
Yep.
actually you could with many Seraphon heroes actually, so it's
The,
not a
the,
strong point.
I mean, I don't know. You know, I don't think they'll include the hunters, but
I don't think so
I
either.
mean, you know
Or
what?
the Slan.
Skinks wouldn't be bad. They could also include Pterodon riders. So like Skinks, Pterodons, and then Agrodons and the hero, like a hero, like a Star Seer or an Astrolith Bear. I wouldn't get that one. Actually, not probably. I wouldn't get that one personally. We'll see. Hopefully they think about it. Anyway, um, it's exciting that it's coming though. Finally, no dice though. Did you see that? There's
Yeah,
the
that
Star
is
Seer.
interesting.
Um,
Speaking of dice, I have these mustache dice.
yeah. Yeah, you almost turned them the wrong way. You should like try and make it so that it's the same size as your mustache. Yeah. Unfortunately, Dan's missing it. You'll have to show him later.
I think you saw them. Yeah.
Oh, did he? Oh, cool. Okay. As we were getting, oh right, as we were getting ready for the stream. So, yeah. Once again, are
Yeah, I
we?
don't think we're gonna see a Slan. I don't think we're gonna see the new Skink Starseer. I don't think we're gonna see the old one, or sorry, the old blood on Agradon. I don't think we're going to see that either.
Mm, right,
Um, so that pretty much leaves it down to like Astrolith Bearer or one of the old heroes, I think, on
right.
foot. Because I'm pretty sure they're going to have a hero on foot, like guaranteed. I think that's likely.
It seems like that's in most of them, but yeah. Well, anyway, so should we move on to the topic du jour tonight? Okay.
Sure.
So yeah, we just thought we'd have like a nice, fun chat about tournaments in Age of Sigmar. Obviously, not something that I'm super familiar with, but um, actually, no. First, let's talk about. So Dan's got an event coming. It's
Yeah.
called the Death and Destruction GT.
Yeah.
Um,
First of many, hopefully.
nice, heck yeah! It comes. It starts on, or it's June the 3rd.
Hmm.
It's a 2 day
June
event.
3rd. Yep, June 3rd and 4th.
That's so June 3rd is the day that Seraphon comes out, so that's pretty cool. Um,
And I am allowing Seraphon to.
what? Oh, awesome! I mean, I guess the book's been out long enough now that
Yeah.
yeah. Um, very cool. Okay, and so that's coming. If you what's I mean, I am going to add the so this is it's
Yeah,
bestcoastpairings.com.
so it's on BCP.
Yeah.
If you
Um,
just search Death and Destruction, it'll pop up.
and it's in North Carolina, right?
Yep, Fayetteville, North Carolina. Yeah.
Nice. So that's going to be an awesome event. Um, for the trophy, Dan has this. Or can I say that?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay. He's got this giant axe. Look, it's he's gonna go get it, I think. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Did you
So
make?
I'll
Sorry,
get
Scoop,
to it in
haven't said
just
that on yet.
I'll get to you in just a second, Rob. I'm just wanted to talk about this insane trophy. So you showed a picture of it, and I was like, oh, that's a cool looking foam axe. Actually, I don't think he heard me. So
No.
Dan,
what?
when you first showed it, I was like, that's a really cool looking foam axe.
So, funny story. When I bought it, so this thing was like $90. When I bought it off Amazon,
Yeah.
one of the reviews had the word foam in it. So I was like, oh, it's a foam axe, cool. Because most people give out like, like replica battle axes or like swords and stuff like that. But I wanted to give out something that was kind of like different. And you can still put a foam like cosplay axe on your wall, as a reward. I'll just with a plaque and everything, and I'll have a little, plate that says, best overall or whatever.
Yeah.
So then it it came. I ordered off Amazon. It came in, and I went outside when it got here to lift the box, and I was like, "Oh my, that is not foam." And I opened it up. This thing weighs 40 pounds.
40.
It, it's
Four
it's
zero.
it's all metal. It's like cast iron, I think. Yeah.
It's insane that it's only $90. If it's
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the other part.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like
Yeah.
it weighs more than my dog food that I get from my giant Bernese Mountain Dog.
weighs more
It
than my
weighs
dog.
more than my son.
Yeah, I bet. It does not weigh
So,
more than any of those things for me, unfortunately, but much to my
so yeah, that's
chagrin.
cool. This is
It's
for
dope. Yeah.
best overall. So best general, I have like a Centurion Gladiator helmet
Yeah.
coming, and or not Gladiator helmet, but like a Roman soldier Centurion helmet with the thing over the top of it.
It's dope.
And so I've always valued, not saying that general isn't worth anything, but I've always valued best overall, in my opinion, to be the worth the main prize.
Yep.
Because it's a mixture of battle points plus hobby plus paint score plus favorite opponent scores. And to me, if you can encompass every part of the hobby
Yep.
and do it at the top of the competition, then I think you should get the main shtick.
I agree.
So
And I think that the Centurion helmet is a little more apropos for best general anyway.
right, yeah,
So I love it. So that's best overall.
yep.
The helmet is best general. And do you have something for the other ones, or you don't want to talk
Yeah.
about it yet? Or
So no, it's fine. We can talk about it. So I have so Baron of Dice is one of our sponsors. He has sent me I have a set of dice for each Grand Alliance. So I have one. Hold on. Actually, I'll show you. Oh God, it's so heavy.
don't put out your back. Yeah, and so here I'll talk to Rob here. Did you see Rob's comment, Carson?
Yeah, absolutely. Asking basically like, what are the first steps to get into Seraphon, right?
Yes.
I
So
think that the army box is obviously a really good choice if it's still available to you.
Army Box is
Um,
fantastic. That's great advice.
yeah, if you have, because it's got the book, it's got the War Scrolls, and it has 775 points, right? For their
That
stuff.
sounds right. 275 plus 400 or plus 200 plus 300. I think that's right. Wow,
Yep.
those are
So
nice.
those are best chaos. They have like blood splatter
That's
on
cool.
them, and you'll probably like these, Carson. Those are best
The
destruction.
Maw.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I love those. Honestly, those are better versions than the ogre dice that GW
I
shipped.
wasn't gonna say anything.
No, those are. Let's see, you can see the little hammer right there. I don't know. So
Okay.
Order?
Oh
best
yeah,
order, yeah,
Nice.
and then best death.
that's cool. Very,
Very cool.
very good coloring for that.
And then
Yeah, absolutely.
the other thing, best general will get. They have these. They're like they're black, and they have first place. And they
Oh,
have like a
cool.
little leaf.
Wow.
Those are
And
your
then
flex
this,
dice, basically. You're like, yeah, whatever
yeah.
you roll them to your opponent.
Yeah, yeah. I just
So the
won.
wooden spoon. I have a wooden spoon for them that says wooden spoon award, and then I have this. So this is Nurgle soap
Oh,
that
cool.
Baron of Ice actually sells. It smells
That's.
pretty good
That's funny.
actually, but
What does
but
it
it's
smell like?
grandfather's blessing. Uh, what does it even say? I don't
Boogers and
know. I don't know. Clove,
clove.
clove and cinnamon
Oh, okay.
and
Yeah.
lavender.
Nice. Yeah.
That
It
reminds me of
smells good.
chaos in general, I think. Um,
Um, and then so I have. Let's see. That's all the Grand Alliances. I have. Uh, and then all the Grand Alliances. I also ordered plaques for. And then first, second, third also get plaques. Best overall has a plaque. Um,
dang. The prize support.
best painted has a plaque. And then also, if I sell out for best painted, I'm gonna buy or if I sell out the tournament, I'm gonna buy so Monument Hobbies sells this travel bag that I've got, and
Oh,
it's
cool.
it's super dope.
Wow.
It's like $200, but it's a whole like it
Dang.
holds basically the whole line of Monument Hobby paints, the Pro Acryl paints, and it's got like fold out sides that you can I put my wet palette on one side, my brushes on the other. It's got a spot for a cutting board,
Dang.
and I mean it's super nice. So that's what I'll give if I
if
am
it sells
sell
out.
out. I'm
Heck
gonna
yeah.
do that for best painted,
That's
and
really
then
cool.
I've got the people I got doing the trophy plaques. I've got them doing 5 coins that have the Death and Destruction logo on the back of them.
Wow.
So so every round, I'm gonna do like a little. I'll figure it out whatever the day of, but I'll do a bounty. So like first round, maybe it'll be like first person to kill a general, or
Nice.
first person to kill a monster, or first person to win, or first person to, something like that, and then you'll get one of these challenge coins.
Heck yeah.
Basically, the idea is, and to me, like, so when you go to a GT, and this is only a small one, this is only 30 people, but I plan on eventually I would like to be running like 60 to 80 person GTs. And when you run GTs, in my opinion, or any tournament, the 10% of the top of the tournament that are coming there to win. The rest of them are coming for an experience. And as a TO, it's your job to give them that experience. And part of that is making sure that everybody has a reason to be there. So like doing the challenges and stuff like that, and having these fun little interactions and stuff like that during the weekend is what causes those. So the idea is that everybody should leave with something. So
I mean, it's about the experience too.
Right. Yeah.
Before we keep going, so Rob Bell had a question, and maybe you can help answer this, Dan. So we started getting into it, but he was saying what he wants. He's just brand new to Seraphon, and he was asking what to start with if he's gonna play Seraphon. He's brand new to AOS. I can't remember if I said that right. So to get first, Carson and I were totally in agreement that the box set is perfect because you get the book, you get the cards, you get everything like that you need, plus the slan, plus up to 3 possible battle line units. It's a good amount of points. You get everything you need. But is there anything else that we could kind of?
A croak.
Croak is good. Yeah.
And I mean, if you want to, it depends. So if you want to, it would depend if you want to go like Jurassic Park, or if you want to go like
Starborn,
Wizard Boys.
But I don't think the coalesced side is as strong. I don't think anyone does, but I think that they're easier to play.
Yeah.
And I think they're cooler.
So yeah, they're definitely cooler.
I might start with that. I would start with the box for sure, and then maybe get like another pack of warriors. They're really fun to paint up. I've got another 10 on my painting table.
The box,
and then if you were to get the army box and then more warriors, that's like almost exactly 1,000 points right there.
Exactly. Right? Exactly. Yeah. Maybe like if you can find I don't know, maybe a Carnosaur kit, and you can build it as a Carnosaur, an Old Blood on Carnosaur. You can build a Troglodon if you like. All sorts.
Yeah,
of
if you can find a Troglodon, that would be great. But that's probably gonna be a little hard to find right now.
It might be, although like some places just like, you know what I mean. They just like there's a store out in it doesn't matter. I won't go into it, but like there's a store locally that's about a little farther out from us, and they don't do like their community, their crowd is 40K focused. So I can get stuff from them, Age of Sigmar, whatever I want.
We have one of those too.
Yeah, so like I think you can still find stuff like that, or it might even just be like the start collecting kit. Although like those old
if you can find a skink, if you can find a skink start collecting kit.
Yep.
That would be amazing.
That's a good kit.
The Bastillodon with the if you can, because you can magnetize the.
You can. I did before.
If you're new to the hobby, it might be a little difficult for you, but if you can magnetize the top of it, which I'm so happy the snake one is good now.
Finally, yeah.
Yeah.
It was a long time.
Skinks, the 100 to 80 point units in each battle tome, in my opinion, are the best units in the battle tomes, because they give you the most play as far as screening goes and all that.
Yeah, if you're playing Starborn, Skinks are a must. I think.
So
right on. I hope that helped, Rob. Let us know if you have any more questions. I'd be happy to to we're happy to help. We're all like community builders here. Ledificus says that can't possibly be 3D printed. He was talking about your axe, I think.
Oh no, not at
Welcome,
all.
by the way, welcome Robin, Keith, and Rob, of course. So Robin said, "Oh, I see. That could be 3D printed. Yeah, like it looks like it, but that's metal.
Oh,
Um,
I have 3D printers,
yeah.
but
Oh man, that would have taken
I,
so long.
yeah,
But
no, they do terrain and that's it.
oh, got it. And and then Ludivicus asks, does it come with reinforced wall anchors to mount it on?
So, so it came with this piece of wood to put it on,
Oh yeah,
and it came with anchors.
that's awesome.
If I was putting it in my house, I wouldn't use those anchors personally.
That's
I
fair.
would I would find something a little bit more sturdy than those because they're like, I mean, they're cheap. I would find a little bit more sturdy anchors, and that's probably what I'm gonna tell whoever wins it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they might be. Uh, so then and then sorry. So we got. Oh, and then okay, $90. Yeah, Robin says maybe $90 just in metal for that. Yeah, maybe
Oh, easily.
could you link on the Discord, Dan?
It's
I think.
gone.
Oh, is it?
I tried. I
Oh,
Dude, I tried to find another one after it
oh,
got here.
really?
I was like, all right, I need another one for the next tournament I run, and it's
Yeah.
gone. It was sold.
Dang. I was gonna
Yeah,
say, by the way, you don't put it on your wall. Like it doesn't come with wall anchors. It comes with a mantle plate, a mantelpiece to like put it on because it's that heavy.
yeah.
But right on. Okay, so I really was enjoying your talk about or what you were saying about kind of the philosophy. But I didn't really get a chance to ask Carson. What do you think about that? The philosophy of like having a good experience because most of the people aren't going to be winning it anyway, right?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. It's extremely important. Like, if you want to be, if you want to play something purely for the, competitive side of things, Warhammer is probably not like gonna work out most of the time. Like, I mean, it's a dice game after all, right? Like, you can really get messed around with just by that. So I
It
think that making sure that there's a lot of effort put in on the side of like making sure everyone has a good time is extremely important too. Like, one thing that I really liked about Cake or Death is that it was a cake contest also, right? Like,
yeah.
even if you got whooped, then you can go have a slice of cake and just enjoy everyone else's paint schemes and stuff. So I think it's really awesome what you're doing to make sure that everyone walks away with something, or at least most people do.
Drown your sorrows in cake. There was a problem with Cake or Death though, and that was it wasn't pie. We all
That's true. I
agreed.
agree with that completely. It
Yeah.
should have been pie. Yeah.
um, but no, that's really awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start a competing tournament called like Pie or Limbo or something like that.
Pie or
And
karaoke.
yep,
Yeah, I like it.
Pie or Maimed.
Pie or
Oh, I
badly or
do
stub your toe.
gotta. I guess it's only right too. So, um, Gray Matter Gaming. Um, they're a table mat company, a battle mat company. They do the mouse pad battle mats. They're our other sponsor, other club sponsor. He's who I got all the mats through. They're really nice mats.
Sorry.
He sent us some big objective markers for
Heck
them.
yeah.
They're on the way here, and those I haven't decided who I'm going to give out to. And then I've got a buddy.
That would be a good one for best sportsmanship or whatever it's called.
So I've got one. So Baron of Dice makes um, uh, dice that have beer mugs on them,
Oh, that's pretty cool too.
and I've got a beer horn,
Oh, okay.
and I'm gonna fill it
Wow.
with the beer mug dice. and that's what favorite opponent's gonna get.
Oh, that's really good. That's really good. That's better. How about okay? I've got a suggestion. You obviously don't have to take it, right? Um, so what if it's the wooden? Oh no, you got the soup. You got the spoon and the soap for the wooden spoon
So
award. I don't know.
I mean, it could just be a random. Like I said, I'm
Oops.
trying. If it's somebody that doesn't, maybe I don't know. Maybe I find a model I like and they didn't win anything. I'll just hand it to them. Like
It
I
can also
said,
be a
I'm
door
trying.
prize or like you know what
Yeah.
they did at a local tournaments. They had like a bingo cards, and then it was
Oh,
like 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 at the time it was like kill Kron spine, and then they're randomized, or it was like fail a 3-inch charge, and then you stamp
that's
your
actually pretty cool.
yeah, and then if you get bingo, then you could get the objective markers maybe.
Because I've got three scorecards. They're like they're dry erase. They're really cool. I use one. They're dry erase score sheets
Cool.
that a buddy of mine makes on Etsy. I'll show you them, Rob. I
Yeah,
don't have them. He sent them to me.
I
Um,
I'd be interested in that, and also the gaming mats. Like
yeah.
I'm a little tapped out right now, but you know what I mean. Maybe I could work something out with
Well,
them
I mean,
and
yeah. I was gonna
advertise.
say you have a little bit more. I don't. All I have is social media. You have an actual like video platform, so that might help. And he's trying to. I know Gray Matter Gaming, Andrew. He's trying to push out a little bit more on
Is he?
because yeah, he just sponsored another YouTube channel. I think they're up towards Seattle. Oh God, what's their
Is it
name?
oh, it's probably re-rolling ones.
No,
Oh.
it's the short guy that always wears the hat and the tall skinny guy.
um
Um,
I don't know, to be honest. I don't watch a lot of battle reports
that's
now that
gonna
I make
kill
them.
me.
It's like one of those
That's
sausage
fair.
sausage making type deals, but yeah. Um
Battle Shock Wargaming.
oh, I think I've heard of them.
Yeah, he sponsors
I didn't know
them.
they were in the Seattle area.
I think so. I
Is
might
is
be completely wrong,
is your
but
buddy in the Seattle area?
no, he's in Maine, Maine, I think.
Maine? Wow. So he's closer to you.
Yeah. So,
Considerably
but
closer to you.
yeah,
um
but yeah, that's the idea, man. It's like I said, it's all about community. That's what everything's about. If you don't have a community, there's no point.
totally.
There's no
Before I had a
point.
channel, that's all I used to do. That was my one purpose, was just building an Age of Sigmar community in this area, and I would just do Path to Glory, and what's it called, like events, slow grow campaigns.
Hmm.
I did a narrative event where I didn't participate in it, and at the start of the game I wrote like a rhyming poem, like riddle, that you had to solve, or that if you solved, it gave you something in game.
That's awesome.
It was pretty fun, man. So, but yeah, I had a blast doing that stuff. Um, and that's where I met a lot of the people who are on the channel now, actually. Yeah. So
Yeah,
it paid off in the end, but I was just doing it because, like, the more people you have to play with, the more good people you have to play with, and you know what I mean. It's just good for everyone. You
yeah,
you, you need an opponent. You need opponents, right?
yeah. And it's good. I always tell people, a lot of times there's this fear of going to tournaments and stuff, but especially, so I used to play. Um, I played 40K pretty heavily for a while, and not to bash on that
What edition
community.
were you playing?
So I played,
Yes, is that the answer?
yeah. I mean,
All of them.
I started 3.5,
Oh,
and
cool.
then I took a hiatus basically after Space Marines, the Iron Hands debacle in eighth, I think it was.
Oh, okay. Well, you were
And then I
playing
was
for a
like,
while then.
yeah. So then I was like, all right, well, I'm not doing this anymore. And I took kind of a hiatus from the game in general.
From
And
wargaming
then,
in general as well.
yeah, yeah. And
Okay.
then a couple of friends of mine were playing 40K, so I started to pick it back up again. And then some friends of mine were like, well, let's get into this AOS. And I like the, I mean, I like Dark Angels and Orcs. And I like Orcs in anything, but
Yeah.
I'm more of a fantasy person anyway, so I rather play fantasy based games anyway. So when they suggested that, I was all over it.
That's awesome. So what was your first army?
In Age of Sigmar,
Yeah.
Iron Jaws.
Nice.
Very shocked.
Not particularly.
Mhm.
I mean, it could have been goblins though too.
They could have, yeah.
Yeah. Although the name of your group is Team Death and Destruction, so
Yeah, I got a bunch of friends of mine play Death as well.
nice.
Yeah, so
Are you allowed to join if you don't play one of those
yeah.
two? Okay, I'm just kidding. By the way, actually, so that group, you can join it. It's on Facebook. It's called Team
Yeah.
Death and Destruction. I'm on there, and I'm nowhere near North Carolina.
Yeah, you don't have to be near us.
Yeah,
It's
it's just
all about community.
yeah, it's a great community. By the way, Robin said, and I know Carson saw this already, but he said the name of his tournament should be called Pie or Die, and that that is, mwah. Um, and Rob says he's got Metal Archeon on Dongor. I don't
Oh
know.
man.
Yeah, I know that model. It's an amazing model. Like it's so
Yeah.
good. Uh, yeah, that's worth something already, I think, Rob. Um, and then
Classic.
and then Robin said Charcuterie of the Damned. I like it. Battleshock Wargaming is what Keith said. That's
Hmm.
probably yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, did you see it? Okay, sorry. I'm just trying to catch up here because I was painting a skink. Had to check my favorite list to find them. Oh, your subscribe list totally. Uh, 111st Halfling Potluck and Itty Bitty Mini Throwdown. What? I have no idea what that's about. Rob says fantasy was class, but soon as I learned it, AOS came out, which peed you off. Yeah, the whole start of AOS was a huge debacle. Luckily, I missed all of that. When I walked into a local store to ask whether Skaven still existed or not, was just after the very first General's Handbook came out for Age of Sigmar. Like maybe like days before that. And so I came in at the blessed time, but when I was looking stuff up, people were still playing on wounds. It's like 100 wounds versus 100 wounds, right?
Oh wow.
Because it was before that stuff had circulated, and so I almost went back into fantasy. But I'm glad I landed here, especially now that they're kind of doing whatever with the old world. Um,
Yeah, I started playing AOS. It was right after um it was right after Slanesh got really good.
oh, AOS 2
Yeah,
when they first came out, that would be like summerish 2019.
yeah.
Yeah, around there.
So I remember a few of us were trying to decide. I got a buddy Shay that he just plays everything chaos, so he already knew what he was gonna play.
Nice.
And I was trying to decide what I was gonna play, and I saw giant orcs riding giant pigs, riding a giant cabbage, and I was like, all right, well, there you go,
Sold.
there you have it.
Yeah. Oh man, how excited are you for the new mega boss
Oh,
Gorgrunta?
the pig truck,
Yeah.
let's go.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm so excited to put goblins on it.
Oh, that too. Alex was like, "I'm gonna order 5 of those." I was like, "5 of those? I don't think you can field 5 of those." And he's like, "I
Well,
don't care." Yeah.
so Iron Jaws have this. There's this point spot missing. It's like that 250 to 300 point spot,
Mm,
and,
okay.
and I hope that's gonna fill that.
Yeah, I can see that.
So we'll see, but hopefully.
I I made a mistake. Okay, don't take this the wrong way, anyone, but I made a mistake getting into KB because I should have bought Iron Jaws. I should have done Iron
Excuse me,
Jaws.
sir. All you needed to do was buy 3 alligators.
Well, no, 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 that's not why. I
What?
want so I like the look of KB more, and that's why I bought KB. This is why I typically buy models is based on their looks. That's why I'm
Right.
going like
Which is a good
hardcore
reason.
into coalesced, right?
Yeah.
So, but I have a bunch of Johnny Trixie armies. I didn't need another one. I want
Yeah.
I want an army where it's just like wah and charge and punch. Like
Oh
I don't
yeah.
have that.
May
And
I introduce
Definitely.
you to ogres, sir?
yeah,
Yeah.
there's
That too.
ogres. So ogres would have been good. Iron Jaws even better for me because I have a cool idea. Okay. And then I saw that Steve Herner was doing my idea basically, which was Iron Jaws of the North, where it's like winter Iron Jaws. And so then I was like, damn. But I still want to do Iron Jaws. But but so there's 2 armies that I always wanted to get and I never did. And one of them was Iron Jaws, the other was Zeech, and I'm getting into Zeech now. And though it's not a simple army, it's the
I was
opposite
gonna
of that.
say you want to talk about Trixie.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was, but I don't know. Like I've always wanted to get into Zeech. So
You know
yeah.
who's the sleeper army that no one's really talking about?
What's that?
That has the most tricks right now
What's that?
is Corn.
Corn is crazy. Corn is
Corn
good.
will Corn will make your head spin.
Yeah, I can see that for sure. Um, yeah, I was. Oh, shout outs to Caleb Walters, by the way. What a nice guy. I think he's in your neck of the woods. Correct me if I'm wrong. Zeech player. I could be wrong.
Me?
Yeah, I think he's from your neck of the woods, but I'm not sure. Anyway, he's like a really well-known Zeech player, and and I saw him on Coach, and then he just said like, yeah, email me if you want information, and then I emailed him, and he's so nice, and we've been emailing back and forth, and he's been giving me some tips and tricks and stuff like that to figure out Zeech and stuff like that. But yeah, anyway, shout outs to him. He's a really nice guy. Um,
Caleb Walter.
by the way, I did eventually get what you were talking about, Robin. Yeah. Oh, and then oh wow, Rob Bell has the original box set for AOS. I think you mean the Stormcast versus Korn, right?
Oh wow.
That's wild. That might be worth something too. Cheeses of Fate, sponsored by Shagarath. Entry is $10 and a pound of something obscure. Maybe like a nice smoked Swiss cheese or a smoked. Yeah, I had like a really nice smoked, soft Swiss cheese a long time ago. It was amazing. Anyway, I will never go back to wheeling or gluing my fingers together trying to hold a metal model. Just right. Um,
Hmm.
Actually, a tip for you, Ludivicus, is get some accelerant and put the super glue on one side and just a tiny bit of the accelerant on the other, and then you just push them together. Also, I like to wear nitrile gloves because still sometimes I glue my hands together, and it's a nightmare. Um, no old world, and it was a strange point to come to after all these years, but I'm done with 40k. That's fair. I'm interested in 10th edition, but there's some things that I don't know, but those new Tyrion models are fire, and I'm me, so uh,
So I, I
that's
was done with 40K,
yeah.
and GW did the. I mean, they could have done anything, but they literally did the one thing.
The lion?
The lion.
Yeah, yeah. You said Dark Angels, and I was like,
I have I have 4 Dark Angels tattoos.
what?
Yeah.
Oh
And
man,
they did the
that's so
one
sick.
thing that and I was like, well, I don't know how much I'm gonna play, but I'm definitely getting him. So
Yeah, they knew. They were like at the headquarters. They're like, we're losing Dan. We got to do something
yeah.
fast.
Yeah.
Well, at
They
first they
pulled him
did
out.
Azrael
Oh, he's cool.
Primaris,
Yeah.
and I was like, it was like that's like my little tippy toe going in the lake. Is it a tippy toe? No tippy toe. And then like the lion comes out and it's like head first.
What now? Which head of the lion?
Oh, see, sir, that's I'm a masochist, so we magnetize those things.
That's honestly, I think that's the right choice. As long as
'Cause-
so, Robert Gurleyman has his head is like the bottom of a normal Space Marine head, so it's like the easiest thing to magnetize in the world. So I
yeah,
think
I think the lions is like that too. I
I
have to
hope
look.
so. Do
His
you-
isn't glued on there right now.
yeah, as long as magnetizing is quite easy, as long as you just kind of think about it in advance and plan it out.
Yeah, you definitely have to pre-plan. Yeah.
I I I actually have a video. I've done like 2 hobby videos ever, and one of them is on how to magnetize stuff, and I've got a couple of cool tips and tricks in there for people. Um, Keith says Gloomspite gets can yell, wah, charge, and punch. So
What?
I think he's right. Like I think the only difference though is that if I yell wah as a get, I need to do it like in a more nasally, high pitched voice. Like that's the only rule, right?
You also have to be high.
That's more of a problem. I'm I'm off the stuff
Yes.
now.
Yeah, you also have to be tripping.
Okay.
So
You know what though? You're not wrong. Like if people actually, what am I advocating? Like I just mean it's very appropriate for the army because they're all high on mushrooms. I'm not going
yeah.
to do that. Um,
No, obviously not.
yeah,
Without,
but
oh,
if I did do it, it would be cool.
Or am I?
Or am I taking mushrooms right now? Don't worry, they're made out of plastic. Rob asks, what are our armies now? I might really be on mushrooms right now. It's Dan. Do you want to start?
What is it?
What armies do you have?
Well, I have an astronomical amount of gets. I have 20,000 points of Gloomspite. And then um, I have a small army of giants, just enough to run like 2K. It's 3 big giants and 6 little guys.
That's cool.
That's my TO army. I just play
Oh,
those
cool.
as a ringer because it's super simple. Uh,
Sorry, I'm laughing at some of the. If I'm laughing, it's probably because of the chat.
and then I have a lot of Cruel Boys too.
Heck yeah.
And that's it, really. Well, I'm slowly starting to pick up back my Iron Jaws because ever since I picked up a huge.
You got to prepare.
I got Sylvaneth
Yep, I
and
saw
I
that.
painted up the army.
Yep,
Yeah, so
pretty.
because the army's, I love the models. So, and I painted up the army. I played it in a tournament, had it for like a month, and couldn't stand the idea of the fact that I was playing as an elf. And then my buddy, he doesn't like the style like that Cruel Boys play as, and I'm a very reactionary player, so it kind of works out. So we traded, but the
Wow.
Cruel Boys army was massive. Like it's got like 80 gut rippers. Like
Jeez.
it had 33 bolt boys. It was huge.
Whoa.
Well,
How many boxes of
still-
Dominion did you buy?
no, these were all like
The main kit?
Yeah.
Dang.
So, um, but the Sylvaneth army wasn't that big, but it was already painted.
And it was beautifully
Most
painted too.
most of it, thank you. So I
That's a fair
we
trade because
decided that I would paint the rest of it, and if he got a couple other kits, there were a couple other kits he wanted, I would paint them for him too,
oh
and that would be
man.
the trade. So I got all that, and I was like, well, big wall seems cool, and I have uh, OCD. There's an actual term for it. I can't remember what it is, but it is. I actually I haven't been diagnosed with this, but I firmly believe it as somebody that's going to school for to be a therapist. I am a completionist to the heart.
Mm.
So anything that is in that battle tome, unfortunately, my mind will not let me live without owning it.
I have a little bit of that with some armies.
So, yeah. So I will eventually have Iron Jaws and Bone Splitters probably, even though I'll never touch the Bone Splitters probably.
I mean,
Yeah.
you're just an orc in heart. I love it. Um, Carson?
I play. This is still a question of what armies do we play?
Yeah, I think he means in AOS specific.
Yep. So I've got ogres and slaves to darkness. Yep. I can't stand being normal, basically. Like whenever I play like World of Warcraft, I don't like playing humans and stuff, which is
Same.
why which is why I treat it so weirdly when I'm like tempted by Cities of Sigmar. I'm like, no, I can't be humans. I can't be. I'm like,
Yeah, yeah.
there's no way. Special humans.
I felt
Yeah.
the same way about Space Marines, partially because like they're popular, and also because they're kind of like mainstream and human or whatever. Like normally I'm playing weird monsters, Skaven, lizardmen. But yeah, I actually really get that. Um, yeah, and then in 40K you do so. Carson actually also started with 40K. Um, well,
Well, originally fantasy, but
originally
yeah,
fantasy. That's yeah. I kind of realized what I was saying there.
yeah.
Uh,
But yeah, I've got Necrons and Tyranids in 40K. Honestly, I just kind of got rid of my pile of shame for both. So I've only got what I've got painted. Everything else I sold off. I don't know if I'm going to come back for 10th edition, honestly. Like, if it seems like people are having fun, possibly. But I really like where AOS is at right now. And I
totally.
also really like that I have, 2,000 point armies painted. Because it's nice to play with fully painted armies. Whereas in 40K, that just wasn't the case.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. You didn't have them painted like. I mean, you
Yeah.
had them mostly painted, but then the paint schemes were a little varied. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Couldn't decide.
no, it's true. I actually met Carson through 40K, and he was one of my favorite people to play against. Was as in past tense, but
Yeah. Terrible now.
yeah, actually, you've only gotten better. Um, so my armies in Age of Sigmar, I'm gonna list them. I'm gonna try and list them in order of favorite down. So obviously first is Skaven. Romulan said, more important question: what armies and why aren't they Doom Wheels? I do have Doom Wheels. I've actually got two more Doom Wheels on sprue, so I could field the maximum amount of Doom Wheels. But those things are such a pain in the butt to paint. You have to paint them in like 40 sub-assemblies, and it's a nightmare.
They're
Um,
so cool though.
they're so awesome. They're not great in game. They're definitely not like as you would picture them if you play the video games and stuff like that. But putting that aside, so Skaven's definitely my first one true love. They always will be, just because it's nostalgia mixed with hilarity for me. I absolutely love them. And then my second army in fantasy back in the day, and the very first box I ever got. So my first army was Skaven. Um, I walked in there and I didn't buy the fourth edition box set because I was like, it doesn't have Skaven, so like why would I buy that? Then so I did buy the half of the Lizardman Bretonia box, and I got the Lizardman, of course. So Seraphon are my second favorite army in Age of Sigmar. They were my second army in Age of Sigmar as well. And I didn't play them as much because when they came out, anyway, it doesn't matter. I'll skip on from there.
Hmm?
I think my third favorite is still IDK. I really like the models. I love the ocean. I love their lore. I think they have,
Gross.
yeah, I know, but at least they're not like traditional elves. Okay, they're not LRL. They're like halfless, half like withering soul vampire elves. I'm just
What was
saying.
the last word you used in that sentence?
Soul vampire? No. I really love them, and then so then, but we've got a new champion in terms of like easily slotting in at least at fourth. Love to play, love to paint Gloomspite Gets. They're so much fun every single way. The variety of models is amazing. I really like doing colorful paint schemes. Anyway, I'm supposed to be just listing my armies. Um, and then I guess from there, in no particular order, I just got Zeech, but it's not painted enough to put it on the channel. So I've got Zeech, I've got Cruel Boys, and is that everything? Oh no, I've got Soulblight Gravelords, I've got Castelai. That might be it though.
Is there any units you're missing for your Crow Boys?
I don't think so. I bought Dobby just for Gloomspite Kids.
Yeah, he's worthless in Crow
He
Boys.
is completely worthless, especially in Micro Boys. I have Kragnos. I think I have everything. I don't have the special edition of the Swamp Kala Shaman.
I want him so bad, but he's $80 on eBay.
Oh, that's so dumb. Um, I'll remind me after the show, Dan.
Okay, yeah, we'll talk.
Um, there is what was it? There's something I just thought of something. Oh, I don't have. So I love Gobsprak. One of the reasons I got into Cruel Boys because I love Gobsprak so much.
Uh-huh.
So when I bought that model, I built it as Gobsprak, but I don't have the other guy,
Oh,
the
the boss?
yeah, the I forget what it is. It's some kind of boss on
Yeah, the killer
Corpse
boss
Vulture.
from
That's
Vulture.
it. That's it. Killer boss on Corpse Vulture. Don't
He's
have
super good.
he is good, yeah. But I don't play Cruel Boys because they're good, Dan. I play them because they're cool. And because
Well,
Gobsprak is the first polyglot of the Mortal Realms, and I thought that was so
sir,
fun.
no one plays Cruel Boys because they're good.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah. Actually, I've got Cruel Boys versus Gloomspite Gits just for you, Dan. That's not true. But it is coming out on Thursday, or supposed to be. Yeah. I'm I'm done. The video's done converting, so I'm going to upload it after the show tonight. So that'll come out on Thursday, and then the next one is Skaven versus something. I forget. That's the
So I
following
have a question for y'all, if I may.
Sorry, one second, real quick. Don't forget your question. I'm playing
Okay.
Alex, and the story behind that was he said, I'm bringing Cruel Boys, and I said, why don't I bring Skaven? And then he said, no, bring your best army, right? And I said, that's
Yikes.
definitely Gits. And so he said he's going to beat the brakes off of me and all these other things that I can't say on television or whatever on YouTube. So anyway, so then Alex just put in the chat that he wish it wasn't. He wishes the next one was not Cruel Boys versus Gits. It's a good battle though. It's a very fun battle, and Alex was very funny in it. Sorry, what was your question before you forget?
So we know that GHB is coming out
Hopefully, yeah,
soon,
soon,
hopefully,
yeah,
right? And then we got the Dawnbringer Crusade stuff.
yep,
And then generally after they do like the storyline Crusade, whatever, like you know how they did the Broken Realms Kragnos thing last time they came out with the new edition afterwards.
yep.
If they keep that on track, are you worried about them coming out with a new edition? Because this edition seems, in my opinion, it's so damn good. I'm terrified that they'll ruin it.
Okay, so
And sorry for saying the D word. I just realized I
What,
did that.
DAMN?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fine. That level is okay. It's just F-bomb, other stuff.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that though. It's for all the parents out there that want to paint and listen to a podcast and
Yeah.
But so I'm not worried. I'm
Okay.
worried for AOS 5. And here's why, okay? So
Interesting.
I think yeah, right? So I think okay, so we had AOS 2, right?
Yeah.
And AOS 2 was my least favorite edition of AOS because
Okay.
the books were crazy. Right?
They were. Yeah,
They were
for
just
sure.
not balanced at all. So then at the time I was way more in 40k because 8th edition was awesome until the very end when Iron Hands went completely when they jumped the shark with that. But like on the whole, like it was such a well balanced edition, right?
Yeah.
So then we got Age of Sigmar 3.0 is kind of analogous to 40k 9th edition where they just iterated on the rules. Right? They just iterated from 8th to 9th. They took all the good stuff, added some other stuff, left out the bad stuff. So I don't think they're going to do a full reset. Like I don't think we're going to go back to index is what I'm trying to say.
That was a really big word, whatever that said.
Analogous?
And yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you gotta use 2 syllables max with me. I live in the South.
Comparable. North Carolina's awesome. My cousins lived out there. They really loved Raleigh. I saw you wearing a Hurricane jersey, by the way. That was cool. Support your local hockey teams.
Yeah, except for we've lost 3 games now.
Well,
if we lose one more game, we're out of the.
There are few more fervent hockey towns in the world than Vancouver, and the last time we had a good season was 2011. So, yeah.
That's true, and it ended horribly.
It did end horribly, just like the 1994 did.
One chaotic night. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh God, I forgot. That's not what I meant. I meant the reffing was so bad. I didn't even think about the riots, the actual riots.
The only time Canadians riot is because of hockey. Yeah.
Only Vancouverites. Yeah. It seems like we're just like. I mean, it's always Game 7. Anyway, so moving right along. So
I love when series go to Game 7. Sorry.
Yeah, it's a big long thing. So you guys are making fun of me in the chat for I don't blame you. You're right to make fun of my lack of swearing, but I do what I do for the peoples. So I'm really looking forward to 4th edition, and not just because I truly believe with my heart that we'll finally get a Skaven revamp. I believe it. It's gonna happen, Dan. Okay.
I mean,
it's
so
happening.
I hope you do. So I was actually kind of upset that y'all didn't. I'm not gonna lie. So you're probably gonna think I'm crazy, but
you should play Skaven.
Me?
Yes. They're the most destruction faction ever. They destroy their own guys.
They're rodents.
That's true. But we're all kind of rodents.
Yeah, but they're literally they're like the scum of. You're the scum of the mortal realms.
I mean,
you're not even like. Yeah, no.
You could say the same thing about goblins.
No.
Like that reply. Nope.
You can eat rats. Who eats a goblin?
You can eat goblins. They're just mushrooms. I eat mushrooms all the time. I love mushrooms.
Okay, all right, yeah, touche.
Getting off into the weeds.
Yep, forgot what I was gonna say. What's your thoughts, Carson? What do you think?
Yeah.
I'm kind of worried about AOS 4 to be honest, because
really?
I really like where the game's at right now.
Me too.
I'm honestly even worried about the next GHB, to be completely honest with you guys. Like, I think this is one of the better GHBs that has ever.
This
happened.
is the best GHB we've ever had.
Yeah.
The best.
So it kind of seems like it can only really be downhill from here, but I'd be elated to be proven wrong about that. But it's yeah, I am a little bit worried. But if they manage to get here in the first place, then that's at least promising, though. So, I guess
Yeah.
we
All
just
right.
kind of got to put on our seatbelts and, hold on for the ride.
So I got
Um,
another question on that on the GHB part. So
please.
I
Sure.
think so. You know how there was Galatian veterans in the last
That's what I
GHB,
was going to
and
bring
they
up.
tur
Yep.
yeah, and they turned it into a battalion.
Yep.
Do you think they'll turn Galatian champions into a battalion?
I don't think so. My hope is that they keep Galatian Veterans Battalion so we can like just so the quality of life change of being able to fight in
It
two ranks stays.
Yeah,
I,
it should just
and
be a battalion.
it shouldn't. I don't think it should even be a battalion. I think it should just be a rule, and that's part of why I'm looking forward to AOS 4. Because if they don't add
Well,
it, we riot,
yeah,
right?
I agree.
Right.
I think it should just be a rule as well.
This is a dad game. I can't spend that much time with my back bent at 90 degrees. It's
But
cruel and
I
unusual.
also the other part of it, like I could see it being a rule, but it, so like if it's a rule, it makes like regular infantry with 2-inch weapons pointless.
Here's my counter argument. Like so, okay. There's two things you could do with that.
Okay.
One is you could just say if you have a 1 inch reach, you can fight one deep. If you have a 2 inch reach, you
I
can
see where
fight,
you're going. Yeah.
yeah, two or
Yeah.
you know what I mean. Like
I don't think they're ever going to do that, though,
I
to
don't
be
think so
honest.
either. So I think here's what I would like to see. So like, did you buy? Do you have any death factions? Do you have any? Do you have Soulblight Gravelords? Dan, sorry, I know Carson doesn't.
Me?
Yeah, yeah.
No, I don't like sparkly vampires.
Okay, so that's touche.
Even though the book with uh Lokavi, the mother of all nightmares,
Oh,
that book
Lau
almost
Kavai,
made
something like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
that book almost made me buy a Soulblight army.
Just because of
Of
her?
all, that book is the best AOS book I've ever read.
You mean the novel?
Yeah,
Oh,
the
crazy.
Mother of Nightmares or whatever.
Okay. I'm actually
Oh,
working on a video talking about lore right now. Um, that's so cool. Okay, I do want to get into that a little bit, but
okay.
um,
Sorry.
okay. So, but what I was gonna say before I forget, before I lose the plot again, in if you look at like skeletons or what are they called? Blood knights. They come with
Hmm.
either spears or lances, I should say, or like hand weapons for both of them. And they don't have two profiles. They just have one profile. It's like this is your profile. And
Yeah.
it's all just done for looks, which I love, and I wish they would all be like that.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I agree.
And then you can
That's
just
kind of how they're doing in 40K with like the
totally.
bolters.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah, I
wouldn't be that
agree.
surprised. So if they do that, then it would kind of solve the problem of the whole range thing. But like we have a friend named Ryan, and he's mostly a 40k guy, pretty well known guy in the 40k community now. And he was when they were previewing the rules for AOS 3, he was we were talking about it, and I was like, I think, and they previewed the coherency rule, and I was saying in
It's
our
fun.
group chat, well, with this coherency rule, I really think that um, they're gonna have it be like 40k where you fight too deep. And then Ryan was like, of course they are. Like, how stupid would it be if they had this coherency rule and then you weren't fighting too deep? Like, there's no way. Like, come on, Rob, you're being dumb now by even insinuating that they wouldn't have that as the new rule. And then when they came out with it, I was like, see, I'm not dumb, they're dumb, you know? Um, so I just really hope that that's the case. Like, I really just think that like when I got into Age of Sigmar, when I got into 40k 8th edition, because that's mainly where I came back for it. I was like, oh my god, this is so much better. Like this is so much better to just be like 1 1 2 2. You know what I mean? Just kind of count the guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't have to bend over them at 90 degrees with a stupid combat gauge, which isn't even accurate, by the way. Like, that's not accurate at all, to bend over something and like hover a tape measure above a model.
Yeah.
That's not an accurate way of measuring things at all. And so it's just such a huge quality of life change. I'll stop talking about it, but like a lot of those things that we come out with Age of Sigmar 4.0, it's, you know, there's quality of life changes we could make. We don't even have terrain rules in Age of Sigmar. That's crazy.
That's my number one complaint with Age of Sigmar. If
Yeah.
I had to like dig for anything complaint wise, it
Yeah.
would be terrain
Mhm.
and the coherency
Yeah.
with the 5 rule.
Yep.
You know, like it should be 6 instead.
It should be 6 for sure, or hell, even 10. Like, who cares? Everything is measured wholly within in this game, so we don't need to worry about conga lines. Like, if you want to do
I
battle
mean,
shock,
conga lines still exist.
they still
I still-
exist. They didn't
I
do
still
anything.
spread 20 gut rippers like this.
Yeah, I still do
I
the
don't-
same thing with clan rats.
Yeah, they still exist.
Yeah.
You're not getting rid of them.
I get a comment on every video where I have 25mm models in a single line. They're like, "Oh, coherency, bro." I'm just like, God.
Well, I mean,
dang
you
it.
can do it with 32s too. You just have to put the little triangles at
You got to
the
put
end.
the little triangles on the end.
And you gotta be
yeah.
willing to lose a bunch of models if you lose one. So
Well, and the cool thing is you don't need to do that though with 25 mils. You know what I mean?
right, you just do a straight line.
You can just do a straight line if they're base to base, or with clan rats, you can do all of the above. You can do bow ties, and then you don't lose models because
you get D3 back.
you get, yeah, exactly. You're always going to get one back. So, yeah. But that's something Matthias discovered. Shout out to Matthias. I've kind of I've kind of lost track of the chat here. So I'm just going to catch up super quick. I went to a fight and a game of hockey broke out. Yeah. Yeah, I think the same thing could be said about, is it Australian rules football? Is that the game that's known? Actually, no, it's hockey's worse. It's true. Romulan says Skaven revamp. Yeah. And he hates rodents, but he loves Skaven. I love all of them. All of the above. My first novel I ever read when I was a kid was Mrs. Frisbee and the Rats of Nim, which was later made into an animated movie called The Secret of Nim. And I love that too. And it's kind of a chicken or the egg thing for me. Yes, no, you're good to go, Robin. I love all the clownery and stuff you put in the chat. It's fantastic. Don't worry about it. Lucas, I've said it before. Get rid of the metal and add some cool new models. And I join Team Die. Heck yeah. Absolutely. I mean, they've got to. Like, I know the memes are hilarious and everything, but we need new models more than we need good memes. Mushrooms all the time. Yeah, exactly. I share similar concerns. Would like this GHB to last a full year. Yeah, honestly, it's kind of the thing about that, Romulan, is that, you know, like when we were in the Bounty Hunters, you guys remember that? Everyone's like, cannot wait to get out of this GHB. Right?
Yeah.
It's like anything's going to be better than this. So that was good to have that at 6 months. But now we've got, I honestly think it's by far the best GHB we've ever had. And I mean from Age of Sigmar 1 and on. So, yeah. I mean, but they're learning though, right? They're iterating and making things better in general.
Yeah, I think they're doing a good job.
Yeah, I'm hopeful. Team Pie-Dye. I will wait until fully learn 4th edition. Yeah, that's fair. That's a good attitude to have. There is a Discord group. The link should be in the description, Rob. Come on over. It's a party over there, man. Show us what models you're working on. Yes, thank you. Keith said it. Yeah, I'm literally reading down. Early 3.0, back before people learn that this edition is all about movement shenanigans. Yeah. I mean, things change a lot. That's why the index sort of side of things is kind of fun when a new game comes out. Oh, it's saying the link has expired? Okay, I will get on that. I'll just catch up with this. I'm sure the IT Trash Panda will fix it. Yes, that's me. With you guys, make some terrain actually do something. Absolutely. I think the 9th edition 40k terrain was a little bit much, but okay. Now you guys, okay, so let me pose a question to you then. If you could add one other thing than terrain rules and not just coherency, but like fighting rules that weren't backbreaking, what would it be? Both of you guys, let me know. I'm gonna link the Discord.
Is it
You go
anything
first,
other than
Preston.
terrain rules?
What's that?
Sorry, you said anything other than terrain
Well,
rules?
yeah, because we've already talked about like like actually bringing in terrain rules to Age of Sigmar and actually bringing in like proper fighting ranges, combat ranges, or whatever they call them. Is there anything else that you guys would like to see in Age of Sigmar?
That's a tough question because terrain is like the number one thing that I can think of, to be honest.
That's fair.
Um, because it's effectively just like obstacles at this point. Like it's really not useful. But
Mm.
uh, maybe this is less so like rules wise, and this is more so like on the IT side of things. But it would be nice if there was like a central database where you could see all of the designer feedback and you can search via like keywords and stuff like that to be like, is there anything to do with this thing that I'm doing right now that has had a
Oh,
designer comment on it or something like that? Or
that
maybe
would.
they could associate like all of the designer feedback that could possibly apply to a given war scroll whenever you click on it in the app or something like that. That would
Yep,
be really nice. But
that's a good call too.
rules specifically, I can't. I kind of struggle to think about like general core rules that I would like to see added or changed.
Do you have anything, Dan?
Um, yeah, it's like a narrative thing. And I guess it kind of is there too with Finest Hour, but I wish there was a way for characters to like challenge each other.
Ooh, that'd be cool. Like in the old
Like if
fantasy days.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
but
I also the number one thing I miss about fantasy, and me and my buddy Mike talk about it all the time, is battle standard bearers.
ooh,
I really wish they would bring back battle standard bearers. And some armies
oh,
still, so like we have like the cool boys have the Belcher
yep.
that does nothing. The only reason anybody ever takes it is because it's the 80-point GC with Tunnel Master. But like the Astrolith bearer, I mean
Yep.
he does stuff, but like I just think it would be so cool if I just think they're cool. And like for painters, like it was always my favorite thing to like do a really sweet banner for my army.
Hell yeah. That's a great idea, actually, in terms of
So
like new models. And it could be the same thing. It could just be like reroll your battle shock test.
yeah, yeah.
Huh. That's a cool idea. I, um, for me, if when they come out with a new edition, I really want them to work on um, Path to Glory. I think that's the weakest part of the book. Also, when they make new battle tomes, because like most people don't play Path to Glory like we do locally, but we don't really use most of those rules. We just do kind of slow grows. So, so stop putting the Path to Glory rules in between the main rules and the actual rules. Like they put them right in the middle, so you've got your allegiance abilities and all that stuff. Then it's Path to Glory rules, and then it's your battle tactics. It's like
Yeah,
what?
it's weird.
It's so dumb. But putting that aside, I would really like them to do um, like a more coherent and like comprehensive way of doing slow grow. Like you can't just do you can't just do a slow grow, especially the way they do it, where you're just adding models and the points are wackadoo. You know what I mean? Like because you got people who are brand new to the hobby, and even though like it's inherently less balanced at a smaller point level, that doesn't mean you shouldn't try your best to make it balanced. You know what I mean? Because otherwise, like if people are more likely to just have a really bad time. Now you need good people. You need to kind of explain to them we're playing lower point levels. Things are crazy. Stuff's gonna die. Your game might end in an instant. It's just about learning, having fun. Like you have to set the stage, but I think that's something that they need to work on is their system of Path to Glory. There's no missions for Path to Glory. Carson and I are working on that. We're gonna do something on the channel, and we're gonna have like a package for people. Um, but yeah, and stay tuned for that. But like that's something I think that they could work on. Um, yeah,
Speaking of like intro experiences for new players as well,
yeah,
I do really think there needs to be in the core rules just like a checklist of like to play a game of Age of Sigmar, do
totally.
this and then this and then this, because like trying even trying to explain it to a new player as an experienced player can be like, oh well, you also have to do this and then there's this step in
Yeah.
combat. It's like these three phases mixed into one, and you're just like, it's so much stuff that just isn't like you just kind of have to do it to learn. And I really do feel like there should be like a, your first game of Age of Sigmar, and it's like super scripted, like every other board game has, right? They always have like a initial encounter that you can do with your friends or something. So that would be another thing that I think should be added.
That's a great idea. By the way, I did update the Discord. You should be able to get on there now. You might have to refresh. I'm not sure, but um, yeah, check it out. Yeah, that's a great idea. I totally agree. And also in the core rules, there's like I know this has been talked about a little bit ad nauseum since Miniac made that video, but like an explanation on how to make a list. Like, I didn't even realize that there was no explanation until that video came out, and everyone's like, "No, you have to look at the GHB." It's like, why would anyone know that? Like, you mean I can't just buy the rules and know how to play the game? Like, that's crazy. Yo, Dan, you are a savage. Thank you so much.
I have to. It's tradition.
You do not have to. You never had to, but
Well, I know I don't
I
have to.
appreciate it very much. Um, yeah, it's very kind of you. Keith says he remembers early editions. He had the Terrain War Scrolls PDF printed out. People always refused to use it and then proceeded to complain that Terrain did nothing. Now I always put some impassable on the board, remind people that cover rules exist, and drag out my mysterious Terrain dice. Warhammer Fantasy Terrain, who misses the days of forests slowing you down while randomly killing chariots and cavalry? Yeah, that was... yeah, it's been hit or miss. Like, I think... So, the problem... Oh, man. I mean, basically, what I at the end of the day, what I'm hoping for is 40k ninth edition, but simplified terrain rules. You know what I mean? Um, that would be really cool. Just like -1 to hit if you're behind a wall, just something simple like that, or shooting. You know what I mean? -1 if you're shooting from the other side of a wall. Um, yeah. Carson got that stash. I'm not sure.
I gotta get one of those dice, Carson.
Yeah, I was saying he should have them made up
I have.
to sell, but he refused me, and I cry about it every night.
So these are all the dice that I've either traded with, or like dice that, like the orc ones, obviously they're just ones I like, but I've traded with people at events and stuff like that.
Oh, that's awesome, dude.
I want that mustache dice in here, sir.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I would. I mean, I bought 64 of them, so I'd be fine giving one away if I ever see you in person.
What? 64? What a random number.
It's a power of two, and having studied computer science and being a programmer, it's very significant for me.
That's fair.
So
that makes more sense. Yeah, now that I think about it.
I don't
But
know. It felt like it had. I don't know. I was just like, should I buy 16, 32, or 64 dice? Like, that's what went into my mind for some reason. It had to be that amount, and it was 64.
true story. When I had Skaven dice made up before Skaven had a book or anything like that, literally didn't have any book in Age of Sigmar 1.0. I got a bunch of Skaven dice made up, and I literally ordered them. I ordered 5 sets of 13 dice. So I'm not. I understand you,
Skaven
Ron.
Skaven has the best dice GW ever made, hands down.
The black and green ones,
Yeah, the black one with the warpstone.
they are so cool. Yeah, They roll
Well, that
terribly
right
though.
next to the squig rubber dice that
Those
bounce
were
all over the
cool, but
place.
they rubbed off. Hey.
I play the only time I have them, the only time I ever play them is when I'm playing with an opponent that's irritating me. So and I'll bust them out.
Yeah, because they can like bounce and they can break models. They're
Oh yeah, it's
crazy.
great.
Yeah.
They're squigs. That's what they're supposed to do.
No, it's true. I mean, the reason Carson is because they're made of actual bouncy ball material, so they're heavy as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, I remember Alex bought them when, and we used to play at the store, and they had like Realm of Battle board,
Oh
like
god.
boards, so they bounce like really hard, right? They
Yeah,
went,
they're literal. Like you can
Those are
erase
so
with
loud
them.
too.
yeah, you could erase with them. Yeah, yeah.
It's an eraser.
The paint rubs off on them so quickly.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Nice. You joined, Rob. Excellent. Welcome. Feel free to introduce yourself there. Uh, you have to scroll up. Oh, sorry. There's just too much in the chat. Uh, I'm pretty sure you're considered to be in cover. Yes, you're considered to be in cover, but I that was just an example, Romulan Dog. I just meant like in 40K, it's like if it's over 4 inches and you're within 1 inch of blah blah, then you can't be seen. Or if you're behind, if you can draw a line anywhere through trees and certain pipes, then you're -1 to hit. Like they have like very specific rules, and they don't ever say you have to. This rule goes on this terrain piece, which is cool. They just give you kind of keywords and different things you can do. That's something I really like in Ninth Edition. Yeah. Yeah, you roll ones. Get some of my dice, man. They work, dude. They're crazy. They're OP.
I mean,
Um,
honestly, all they would have to do is just attach the the mysterious terrain dice to things.
you could do
So
that.
like, so if you just said these forests are mystical, or these forests are deadly,
Yeah.
or I mean that's all you have to do. The problem is that people like so I'm gonna mark all of mine at my GT. I guarantee you 12 of the games over the weekend we'll play with them
Oh, right.
because and it's not because they don't want to or they're doing it on purpose. It's just they'll just forget. The only one anyone ever remembers is Mystical for the 5-up ward or the 6-up ward or
Yeah.
Arcane for the +1 to cast.
+1 to cast for sure. Yeah, I mean, so I would really love it if they were just like, okay, forests are typically -1 to hit under these conditions, and and you know what I mean, just that kind of thing,
I
like
even like
guidelines,
movement.
because that way you can set things up so they're symmetrical as well. Because if you're rolling too, it's like all the good stuff could be on one side of the board, and then you're just like, okay, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we actually have a different way of doing that. Like so usually we set up our like on the channel if when we're playing with mystical terrain, which is most of the time not the case because people in the BC don't seem to like it, and I'm with them. I'm not a fan either, so that's fine with me. But putting that on a different on a different note, what I usually do with mystical terrain is we take like let's say there's 8 pieces of terrain, which they're supposed to be, right? What we do is we roll 4 dice and then we just double them up, and then we both get to
Um,
decide, where they go, like one at a time, kind of deal. And then and sometimes what we do is like you just get to decide your territories stuff.
yeah. So
Yeah.
the way it works, the way I do it for my tournaments, for like, because I run an RTT every month too at my local store, and then the way I do it, so the defender rolls terrain dice and puts out the markers, and then the attacker chooses sides.
Yeah.
So that way, so if the
Totally.
defender can't stack a side and then take that side.
Absolutely.
So
That's a great way of doing it. That's some of the local tournaments, I think especially in Washington, do that. And that's a
yeah,
great idea too. Absolutely. Yeah. Um, the only problem with that like I heard one person say was like it was like I forget what it was, but it was like they had to deploy like a really big base. It was like Techless or Spiders or something with like a 160 millimeter round, and they just put it so that they had to put certain things somewhere because you know what I mean. And it kind of screwed them over either way they deployed. But
Mhm.
that's a particular case, and that person was also probably being a douche, even though they had plausible deniability. You know what I mean? They're still just kind of
Yeah.
being a dick, right?
Well, if they
Um,
were playing with Techlist, then I don't care.
no, yeah, fair enough. But I mean, if they're playing with spiders, then God save them, right? Like, what the
Yeah.
hell, man? Like, they do not need any extra,
No.
yeah, nerfs. Um, yeah, man. Um, yeah. So, uh, any other like, what do you call it? Tips, tricks, tournament stuff you guys want to talk about?
The main thing I just tell people to go. Just go.
Just
It's
go.
not bad.
That's a
Yeah,
great thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's not
Yeah,
bad.
this is my first year actually going to AOS tournaments, and I've been having a blast so far. Like there's a charity event that kind of kicked it all off, and then Cake or Death, and then in July I'm going to be going to Tacoma. It's also looking like I'll be going to LVO as well, which is super cool. And
Oh, awesome.
honestly, like I'll bring a mustache die. Yeah,
I'll be taking your die there then. I'll be there.
But yeah, I had some apprehensions too because in the past I'd done 40K tournaments and not to knock that crowd, but in the past like it has been a little more
They're very
toxic
different.
/ competitive.
It's known for it. Yeah.
Yeah, whereas this is like it's literally like it's just dads wanting to roll dice and play with their toys. Like that's basically all it is. And then if you happen to win something, great. But yeah, that's really all it is, and it's a lot of fun.
If anyone ever gets, and I know y'all are far away from it, but if anyone ever gets a chance to go to NashCon, it is the best tournament you will ever go to in your life.
I have
It
literally
is.
heard nothing but good things about NashCon. Is no, I'm thinking of Holy Wars. NashCon's
So,
down in like
It's
Tennessee.
it's in Nashville, yeah. It's
Yeah,
in
yeah, yeah.
Tennessee, Nashville, Tennessee. So my buddy Anthony, he lives in Raleigh. He lives in the Raleigh area, and he's one of the TOs for NashCon. He helped kind of organize it. And he
Dang.
runs it. That I mean, they do such an amazing job. I'm basing kind of my terrain structure off of theirs, the way they do it. The, all their tables are themed. They're beautiful. It's amazing. The atmosphere there is amazing. There, if you ever get it, I could not go to any tournament if my wife said, well, she would never do this because I've divorced her. But if she came up to me and said you can only go to one tournament this year, period, that's it, I would choose NashCon, hands down.
What is
It's
NashCon?
so it's at the end of August.
Oh, okay.
It's right before Nova.
Nice. I've heard good things about Nashville in general. Like I heard it's a really fun place to visit.
It is, yeah, yeah, it's fun.
Yo, Darren.
Yeah,
Yeah.
never been.
Sorry.
You-
Did I interrupt?
No, you're good.
Oh, okay. Um, yeah. And Robin says he's in Memphis. That's pretty dope.
Does GW still have a
They're-
shipping
That's
facility?
yeah. Their
Yeah.
supplier is in Memphis, which is crazy. Um, I hope their local GW stores are well supplied. Can you imagine? It's just like,
Probably not.
bro. Yeah. That sounds about right. Robin says, for me, I struggle with painting. If that's okay to talk about, absolutely, it's okay. Like it's hard to learn to see how, and it would be nice, and how it should be nice to be done. Um, I think, the best place to start with painting is probably Games Workshop's tutorials. Like they're actually good tutorials, right?
Yeah.
Like because like when I was first learning, like that's where I went, and we didn't have contrast paint then, So,
Contrast is such a game
oh
changer
my
for people
God,
that are
right?
getting into the hobby.
Yeah, like I don't want to, like I'm not, I don't think I'm throwing him under the bus, but um, Dale, who used to be my partner in crime on this podcast, he's colorblind, and he does a great job. You wouldn't even know that he's colorblind at all because he does such a great job painting his models, and contrast is so huge for him. Um, yeah, I would do that. Just get like either it depends on what color you're painting, but like I think the best my recommendation is usually get like gray sear the primer. Just get gray sear white primer, prime them up, and go to town and just put on. Know about thinning your paints a little bit. You might want to thin it down with a little bit of the contrast medium, or you can even just use water or Flow Aid, Flow Improver from Vallejo. Um, you know,
Yeah.
thinner is better.
One other thing that I see a lot of people doing too, which you've probably seen online, is you can actually prime your model black and then dry brush the entire thing white, and then use contrast paint, and then that's slap chop right there.
Yeah.
And I have a couple friends that are getting into the hobby that are doing that, and one of them already like almost has 1,000 points painted. It's awesome. Yeah.
Sorry. What was? I didn't hear the full thing, Carson.
So if you prime it black
Yep.
and then dry brush the entire thing white
Got
and
it.
then contrast,
Yes.
it comes out really nicely.
It does.
Creates shadows.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yep.
So that's exactly what they were saying. So like if you just and so that's used to be called sketch style, or I've heard a few other things. It's been around for a really long time. Won't go into that. But one of the things that you can do is when you dry brush it, you can dry brush down only. That way you only get the top of the model. You're not getting up underneath where the shadows are supposed to go. But yeah, like an ivory or even just titanium white, whatever. You dry brush it, like he said. That's perfect. Yeah, you can absolutely do that. If you and later on you might want to get an airbrush. Like an airbrush is my God, it saves so much time. Like I'm really lucky. My brother happens to be one of the most famous airbrush artists out there, and he actually gave me my first airbrush, which I subsequently broke. Right. But once I started airbrushing, I was like, I am never going back. Like, I would say get one army and paint it like that, and then when you're all done, and then I would literally get an airbrush before I got anything else. It's such a huge game changer. Zenithaling, doing all that stuff is so much faster. Yeah,
The other thing I would say is just don't be scared to try new things with
absolutely.
painting and constantly experiment.
Yep.
The learning curve for painting is insane. You'll feel like you're on this plateau, and then all of a sudden you'll find something out, and you'll just go like this, and then you'll plateau a little bit, and then you'll do the same thing. And I've been doing it. I feel
Yeah.
I've been doing it since I was 15. I'm 32 now, so I've been doing this for 17 years. Is that
Nice.
right? Is that math?
That checks out as far as
And I still, to this day, I'm constantly learning new tricks and stuff like that. So I mean, it's a constant learning process and experimenting and all that stuff. So just don't be scared to experiment, because I know sometimes it gets kind of nerve-wracking. You got this $100 model that you bought,
yeah.
uh, because I mean, you can always, as long as your paints are thin,
Yeah.
sometimes you can paint over it a layer or two and it's fine.
Not sometimes,
And
it's
then
like most of the time. Like the pigment is
yeah,
so small, you very very rarely have to strip your models,
yeah.
in my
And
opinion.
then
Yeah.
even if you do, stripping's not that bad.
It's not.
So
Yeah. Get the what's it called? Super clean.
uh,
Super clean.
I use Mr. Awesome, but
Oh, okay. Yeah,
uh,
your mileage may vary. You might have different products in different
yeah,
areas.
basically any kind of like concentrated cleaning supply.
Yeah, I think it's called Super Clean is the purple stuff, and it's like a degreaser, and it
Yeah,
cuts it off pretty good. But like, so every time I buy a used model, I say never again, and then I inevitably find some crazy good deal, like I did with my Troglodon, and they primed it with like house primer or something like that, like outdoor primer, 2 different layers of that. So that was a huge mistake. So in that particular case, I couldn't get it to come off. I had to use isopropyl alcohol, and I destroyed my sink. Anyway, it's still just.
Do you
Anyway,
have a Sonic? Do you have a Sonic cleaner?
I do. You can't put isopropyl alcohol in there,
Oh,
but because you can light on fire. But you can put super clean.
really?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Because it shakes the particles, and yeah, I've heard of people like, yeah, yeah, don't.
Thanks, Rob.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
won't
Don't do
again.
that ever, ever. But yeah, I was putting Simple Green in there before, which is
Yeah.
like a power washer uh, concentrate. Anyway, yeah. I've never put isopropyl alcohol in my thing because I heard that. I was like, this.
That's all I ever put in it.
What? Oh my god. You're like, I'll put a little flint in there because I heard
Now,
that's good as well.
I
Yeah.
don't put I don't fill the whole thing. I do like probably it's like a 1 to 10 ratio, like one,
Oh, that's
and
very
then
different.
water.
That's very different.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that I could actually. Does that work?
Yeah.
Wow. Like 1/10
Yeah.
isopropyl and then like 9/10 water.
No, that's after a bath. I do that after the bath in the Mr. Awesome.
Oh, okay.
So I do
Huh.
the Mr. Awesome, I do the scrub, all that stuff, and then I put it back in there with the 1 to 10 ratio, and then it cleans off all the rest of it.
Wow. Yeah, you
Yeah.
can get them pretty cheap too. Like my ultrasonic cleaner was like $30 on
Yeah.
Amazon. Yeah.
I suggest if you have any idea of stripping anything, you should definitely invest in one. They're amazing.
Yeah, that's a
And
good.
if you have an airbrush, you should invest in one because they clean all the deep spots that
They
you
do,
can't get.
but you should lube it back up after.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll strip off all the grease and whatnot, but that's a
Yep.
good call. Um,
You gotta make sure it's nice and lubed up.
yep. Good advice for us all. Uh,
Sorry, I couldn't pass that one up.
Romulan Dog says going to a big local GT this weekend. Feel quite fortunate. It's only 25 minutes away. That's extremely fortunate. Like that's about how long it takes me to go to my local like independent retailer for hobby stuff most days. What are you playing, Romulan? Are you playing Skaven? Please tell me you're playing Skaven and that you have 4 Doom wheels. Um, Mana Dork Paints. I just played in an RTT on Sunday. I took Cruel Boys like a man. Skaven is my main army, but Cruel Boys is my new love. Worst army in the game. Hold my beer. Hell yeah.
What
Heck
did
yeah, man.
what did you run?
Yeah, yeah.
I
Let's
took
let's hear what you ran. Uh,
I took Cruel Boys to RTG last Saturday and went 3-0 with them.
you did, and you got
Second
something.
place.
Second place, right?
Yeah.
Um, Robin says he reversed Zenithal. That's a really good thing to do as well.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I tried out a new primer um, that's supposed to be like you don't need to add anything, but I did leave the top off of my uh, airbrush, and so it might have been user error, but it did clog up my airbrush. So I'm gonna give it another shot, but I might have a recommendation
Some of the primer will clog up your airbrush pretty good.
for sure. But this one was supposed to be like goes through smooth, and you don't need to add anything specifically, and it's extra durable and all this other crap. But everything else worked. But anyway, I did leave it off, and then that's not good.
Now I'm a Monument Hobbies like pro acrylic fanboy, but I use their stuff and it goes straight through the airbrush, no problem.
I've um I've heard mixed things about Monument. I love everything that I've bought for Monument and tried for Monument. I absolutely adore. But I have heard mixed things about their primer specifically. But I've been using Green Stuff World, and there's just no reason for me to ever change. Their matte black primer is god tier, but
Oh wow.
I didn't have any white primer. So I was trying something new. That's why I tried out this thing, and yeah, it didn't work out this time, but we'll see. You know,
Hmm.
yeah.
I might have to try the green stuff world.
Oh my God, it's so good. It's so good. And our local store carries everything. It carries Monument, it carries Green Stuff World, like a bunch of stuff I've literally never heard of. I went in there and I was like, "Hey, could you order this stuff called like Dirty Down Rust or something like that?" And he's like, "You mean this stuff right here that I already have in the store in this case?" And I'm just like, "Yes, that. I'll take that.
Is
Thank
that
you."
is that the stuff that you just paint on and it turns it into
It
rust?
turns into rust. It
Dude,
works
so
so well.
I use that on. I've been using that on all my Cruel Boy stuff. Stuff's
Dude,
amazing.
it works even better. So to get the most out of it, it works better if you put on some kind of like what's it called? Like gritty paint, like texture paint, like
Yeah,
typhus
the
corrosion.
ISIS version. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I make it like really white with like gray sear or something like that, and then you can really see the different hues of the rust. But yeah, um, here, do you guys have the chat up? Can you read the chat while I'm gonna grab some of that. Or if you guys don't have it up, that's totally cool. Okay, so Rob heard about
DMAX
the.
says,
Oh yeah, sorry.
"Go ahead, sorry."
No, no, go for it. Go for it.
I was gonna say DMAX says he's been using Molotov. I assume that's Molotov One for All to prime. I haven't heard of that brand. I don't know if you guys have. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Despite how long I've been painting, I still use GW primer, and I just like paint everything on by hand. I have been using Pro Acryl recently, though. I love their metallics. So good.
Oh yeah.
Um, and I've been because the theme for my Slaves to Darkness army is that no single one should be, the same as another one. They're all basically like Bretonia-esque, like have their own heraldry. I do like green stuff flags and stuff like that. So I've been buying a lot of the Pro Acryl paints to like, fill up my different colors, and I've been really liking them so far.
I can't find it. I can't find. I made this like. I made like a model myself. I hand carved it. Anyway, this is the primer I was using. One shot primer. I think it's by Molotov. And yeah, you're supposed to be able to just put it in your airbrush and away you go. But it did clog it up. But like I said, it could be user error. I didn't put the lid on my
Is
thing.
that by Mig?
Yeah, which I think is by Molotov or oh no, it's by Steinelrez. That's who makes it. Steinelrez is like a famous
Yeah.
primer. Like they're known for good quality stuff, and I've only had good experiences. But again, like I said, it could just be user error. So anyway, and then this is the Green Stuff World matte black primer,
Yeah.
and yeah, I adore this stuff. Where is my Skaven model I made? I wanted to show people. I was quite proud of it. It's hidden from me. Oh, you know what? I think I put it in the studio. Okay, I'll be back. Keep reading chat for me. Oh, I see. Oh, Manadork. Well, just give us like a rundown. You can give us a list of stuff. Oh, and then Romulan's doing similar lists you've run before: Thankwell, Deceiver, Warp Lightning Cannons, Jezzail, Doomwheel. Heck yeah! Oh yeah, that's perfect. That's exactly the kind of thing I like to run. I'll be right back.
Deceiver's so good.
Yeah.
Less good now that you can't give him Flaming Weapon though. So sad.
The Deceiver?
Yeah.
You can still give him Flaming Weapon.
Which one's the?
You can't give him Arcane Tome.
Is the Deceiver a caster?
Yeah, the Deceiver is a 2-caster. They always were, even in the 2.0 book. But the problem is they specifically couldn't take any kind of lore spells. And then, but then in 3.0, the great thing was right from the start, they were like, here's just general spells you can take if you are a caster. So.
Oh, but you can't give him great. Wait, no, you can't give him Great Skitter Leap and Flame Weapon or whatever, right?
He can do both because he's a dual caster.
But you can't pick both, not unless you take the enhancement.
Oh no, he has it on his War Scroll.
It is. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So never mind. Deceiver's amazing.
He's still really good. I think
I don't know what I'm talking about.
I think he's only good if you make him your general and like spend an artifact on him. Otherwise, he's just like you're never gonna spend 400 and some odd points on him because he's like 6 attacks with 2 damage. You know what I
The
mean?
war dude
The
is really
Warbringer
good
is
too.
he is like the killiest Skaven unit by far.
Yeah.
I love him so much. He's in my heart of hearts. I have to find that model.
Carson, do you run foot ogres or do you run trucks, monster trucks?
I never leave the house without a stone horde. So
Makes
I
sense.
so even I actually so the list that I run and have run before in a tournament is kind of a mix. I really don't like the underguts like spamming for 4 iron blasters. But what I do is I like to run minimum size units of gluttons and iron guts, and then also bring 1 iron blaster, 1 frostlord on Stonehorn, and then 2 foot heroes for the Galatian champions. And I
Hmm.
find that it's actually really well balanced. And I've recently been using the fire belly to give like a bubble of -1 to hit as well to help with the tankiness. So that's
That's
usually
one
what
of
I
my
do.
favorite models.
Fire belly, yeah.
Yeah, I love that
I,
model.
I still have to pick the actual fire belly model up from Rob. I've just been proxying a butcher so far.
Oh right.
It's a, I actually agree with you. I think a mixture is the better way to go. I think people are too stuck on the monster trucks. Um,
Monster trucks and like artillery spam.
yeah,
I think that if you lean too hard into any one trope for any army, really, like you're susceptible to getting rock paper scissored.
unless
Um,
it's squigs. You
yes,
can lean 100% into
Yeah.
squigs.
fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, if it's like so blatantly and insanely powerful, then sure.
Yeah.
But no, I found that like it got me to top tables in Take or Death, and then I got swatted off by squigs, unfortunately. But
That was
uh,
pre-nerf too.
yeah,
Oh
but
yeah.
that was an insanely close game still. Like it was literally down to whoever got this priority wins, and it was in my favor too. But unfortunately, he rolled a 6. So
I mean, those are
Wow.
you can't ask for more than that. Those are good games. Anytime a game comes down to like a one dice roll, it's those are good games. But
yep.
my buddy, my buddy has an ogre list. It's like it's Kragnos, and it's either 4 or 5 tyrants.
Yep. Stinger missiles,
Yeah,
meat fist.
it's so funny.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think what was it? Heywo recently did a video where he showcased that basically. I can't remember exactly what he called it, but he's like the Stinger missile ogres was the key term that he used
I mean,
there.
that's basically what it is. It's
Yeah.
hilarious.
That's awesome.
You just do 1 million mortal wounds on the way in.
On average, it's like 7 or 8, yeah, per tyrant, which is kind of nuts.
Jeez.
Yeah, because they
That's
do it on 3-up,
threes.
Yep.
That's crazy.
If you give him brawler guts, yeah.
and they're
Um,
averaging 10 on 3d6. Is it average 10 or is it 9?
10.5, but
But is that
right?
if you take him with Kragnos?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I see. Yeah. I was
yeah.
gonna.
So yeah, 10.5 or 11, so yeah, like 7 or 8 mortal wounds each, which is kind of nuts. Yeah, like if you get all the charges off in one turn, which isn't like that infeasible, they still move 8 inches, and then a 3d6 charge is pretty good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So you're averaging like 18, 19 inches.
Yeah. And it's not like you can't protect them. You just have a unit of gut busters or whatever next to them, and because they're all
yeah,
GCs. So
that's
Yeah.
definitely one of those lists though where like you're definitely leaning into it, and if your opponent has a screen, then you're kind of
oh yeah,
you're
it's
not doing
it's
great.
all it's all or nothing. Like it's a meme. That's
I
all it
mean,
is.
but then
Yeah,
you can use one unit to take out the screen and then and then charge in
Yeah.
another unit.
that's true. I just think I think of the new Soulblight book though. Like if
Oh,
there was
the
just a horde of skeletons
layered
in front of you,
screens.
like
Yeah,
you might not be coming out of that alive
that's
with a
true.
win.
But you're probably having fun, and if you're playing Kragnos, you're winning in my book anyway.
That's true. Yeah.
Kragnos
Yeah.
is so much fun.
Except Alex, if you're out there, you weren't winning. Sorry, that was mean.
Actually,
I
you
hate
know what?
But he did bait me.
I thought you were
So
gonna say, yeah, he literally baited you. But like, what's funny is you borrowed my Kragnos for a battle report, and then you also didn't win with him. I killed him like top of 1 or something, and then you still won the battle report. Actually, never mind.
I hate that Kragnos. The only reason, really, in my opinion, that Kragnos is worth taking is for his chargeability.
Um, I don't agree with that because he's so much fun. Like you charge him into a monster and then you get to roll 2d6. Like that's the funnest mechanic in the game. In the game. Like I charged him into
Unless
a
unless you roll sevens
yes.
99% of the time,
I have
like me.
never rolled a 7 yet, but
Really?
I rolled double one, so I got one mortal wound, but in the last one
That's almost as bad as a seven.
I took him against Andy and I rolled a 4 and a 6 and just auto killed his cabbage.
Oh,
And
those are
then
nice.
all that was left over was the guy who like stares at you. You know the
Oh yeah.
I forget his name.
But
But shoot, what was I gonna say? Oh man, I just love Kragnos. Every time I play with him, I have a good time, except for the first
I, I got a I got a
game.
Glimpse fight list for you then.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Kragnos and 3 units of, or now I guess it would probably have to be 2 units of 36 squigs
Oh baby. Yeah.
and two squig herders.
Oh, that sounds awesome. I I need to get like one more unit of squigs probably, but Keith says next game Rob will roll a 7 for sure, absolutely guaranteed. Or I'll roll 2 6s and laugh.
Do you want me to send you unit squigs with the syndicate?
I wouldn't turn it down.
Okay.
We'll talk about it after. I didn't want. I wasn't sure if you were cool with me bringing it up. Dan
No,
is
fair.
sending me some syndicate because I mentioned in the last podcast that I wanted to get into Legion, and he's sending me some painted syndicate. So I'm getting into Legion. Roman's coming over on Thursday, and he's going to teach me and Carson how to play, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Just call me the Southern Internet crack dealer.
Yes.
Southern Sugar Daddy.
Also
There you go.
also the kindest man in wargaming.
No.
So this is the model I was trying to find. Man, it's actually 1 second. I'm gonna turn off this just so the color isn't crazy. Right.
Oh, that's neat.
So this is my proxy for Lao Shan. Right. For Skaven,
What is
obviously.
what is Lao Shan? Oh, the boat guy.
The boat guy, the boat spell guy, right?
Nice.
So this whole thing, I literally carved this out of old sprue.
That's awesome.
I'm actually pretty happy with it. I literally just took old sprue and then cut it into the shape that I wanted, and then I just kind of like took chunks out with my hobby knife, so it's all like scraggly and whatnot. But then, ladies and gentlemen, I glued it onto the wrong base. I glued it onto a 110 millimeter oval because I thought that's what Lao Shan was on, because when I asked somebody, they told me that's what he's on. Turns out he's not on that. So anyway, I got the correct base now. Coming to a Skaven game near me soon.
That's sweet.
Yeah. Because like I was watching the coach video and they were talking about Skaven. His name was like Kieran or something, and he was just like, yeah, you never take Thankful without taking Lao Shan, like obviously, right? And I was like, I still haven't taken Lao Shan yet. Maybe I should do that. That sounds like a good idea. So yeah, I got to get on that. For Skaven, Mana Dorks is playing Warbringer, hell yeah. Greyseer, hell yeah. Claw Lord, very cool. 60 Clan Rats, very good. 3 times 50 Gutter Runners. Oh, I'm so jealous. I'm waiting for new sculpts. I can't do it until they get new sculpts. HPA, which is the Hell Pit Abomination. Master Molder, Rat Ogres, ... win. Yes, all of that is good.
Or the gutter runners, they're the ones that shoot
Yeah.
the shots and 6s to hit, do a mortal wound.
Yep, exactly. With their poison.
Yeah, I like those guys a lot.
I would probably put the Deathmaster if you can fit him in there, Mana Dorks, just because then you get the +1 to hit and wound against a particular hero.
You know who's really good in Skaven is that dang Assassin Warband.
Yes,
Holy
Skittershanks.
cow.
Yeah. He's really good, and then he counts as an Eshin hero, so he works like that. He's dope. I agree. HP on the table is a guaranteed way to instantly go from 6 to midnight. Yeah, so I've only had like pretty not great experiences thus far, but the last 2 games with my Hell Pit, he's been doing stuff like been really happy with him actually. What are you? Do you take Tough and Sinews? Because I only rock Tough and Sinews just because like a 5-up save is just so easy to kill. Um, yeah, and it turns his 5-up into like a 4-up characteristic, so you can get him to a 3-up with all out defense or Mystic Shield or something. Three times. I guess you mean 3 Jazales or just 3 Jazales. They're cool. Um, the models are not, which is where I struggle with them. I've got them. I've got them in metal. Believe it or not, I've got like 9 in metal, but
Gross.
yeah, exactly. The Hell Pit. I don't know if you know this or not, Dan, but the Hell Pit is still rocking a 2d6 movement. He's still rocking old like Boingrot's movement.
I don't know why GW feels the need to still do that.
Why didn't we get what they did with? Anyway, I'll stop. Carson's beautiful mustache, Dan awesome beard, Dale gorgeous face all around, all the best guys. You're off. Take care. I'm not Dale, but Dale's not here right now. But I appreciate the love, Rob. I'm also called Rob, so it's very easy to forget. I actually understand. I have a friend named Rob, and it happens all the time. Who's also been on the channel. But Dale is gorgeous. We can all agree on that. It was fun hanging out with you, Rob. We're not going to be on for too much longer. Before we go, because I'm not a big tournament guy, obviously, what is like, other than just go and do it, like what is one thing you would recommend for people who want to go to their first tournament? Why don't we start with Carson? I keep asking Dan
Bring
first.
game aids. Those are the
Game
biggest
aids.
thing.
Yeah.
Just every opponent that I played really. Bring extras too. Every opponent that I played against really appreciated when I would hand them like a nice laminated game aid. Be like, look, here's all the battle tactics you could take and all the, quick reference information and stuff. It's super helpful, and it gets you brownie points with your opponent. Especially if you're going for that best sportsman. That's a good way to do it for sure. But game aids, yeah, for sure.
Don't bring your regular aids.
Just game aids.
Game
yeah,
aids.
not aid. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good call.
HIV's okay.
God dang it. And demonetized. Dan, what do you have a recommendation?
Yeah, drink plenty of water.
Oh, that's a good call.
Eat snacks. You'd be surprised how much better your brain works when you're hydrated and
right.
fueled.
That's a great idea.
Here and there.
Maybe like a protein bar or something.
Yeah, because it takes a lot. I know we're just nerds. Some of us are in better shape than others, but it takes a lot out of you to use that mental capacity for 9 hours a day.
So true.
So I mean, it's good to stay hydrated and keep fuel in your belly, and try not to eat like something too crazy greasy when you go to lunch.
Yeah,
that's what I'm really bad about, the greasy part, but I do try to drink water.
And maybe bring deodorant too.
I mean the fact that even needs to be said, it's like.
But so I'm from like originally before this I was really into fighting games and stuff like that, and there's like a certain portion of the fighting game community, Smash Melee, that's like famous for BO, like, or infamous for BO, I guess. So you don't want to be that guy, but that's not my tip though. My actual tip is, if you're going to your first tournament, I know it's hard to do, and like this is for any kind of tournament. Use it to, don't try and win. Don't worry about your win-loss record. It's your first tournament. Your first 3 or 5. Go there to A, make friends, B, to learn, and don't worry about anything else. Concentrate on how you're playing and the experience you're giving. Don't worry about whether you win or lose, because no one's going to remember whether you won or lost. No one's concentrating about that. They're always concentrating on themselves, but they will remember if you're a good opponent.
Yeah, because let's be honest. I mean, so like my tournaments, the entry fee is $50. So you're $50 plus a hotel room for maybe a couple nights, dinner, lunch. You're talking what? Maybe like $300, $400 at the max for a really good weekend with friends and hanging out and stuff like that, making some memories. Like the last thing you want to do is ruin that, stressing out about little plastic army men.
Exactly.
Just enjoy it. Enjoy the camaraderie, enjoy the community, enjoy the fun. We don't play this game to bring our life stress into it. We play this game to forget about our life stress.
Absolutely.
It's supposed to alleviate us from all that kind of stuff. So don't bring it into the thing that's supposed to bring you joy.
Yeah, that's well said. Darren says, don't forget to sit down when you can.
Yes, that is also very important.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I hope I haven't missed anything in the chat. Thanks to everyone for joining us. I had a great time chatting with you guys as usual.
Yeah.
Dan, I've got your Instagram up on the screen.
Okay.
I know they can find you on the Facebook group Team Death and Destruction.
Yep.
Don't forget to check out Death and Destruction GT on bestcoastpairings.com. Is there anything that you would like? Is there anywhere that people can reach you that you want to put out there that I haven't already mentioned?
I mean, just you can reach me on the club page. Cool. Or on my Instagram, or I mean that's really it.
Perfect.
I will say too, if you want to get 5%, I think it's either 10 or 5%. I think it's 5% off of Baron of Dice, if this is okay.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
You can use our club discount code. It's club capital C D and 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 then capital D. So it's either, I'm pretty sure it's 5%, but it might be 10. But
okay,
you just enter it in the coupon part, and it'll give you a discount. So
Club Dan D.
Yeah, club
with capital C
D and D with capital C D.
Oh,
and D.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Perfect. Carson, anywhere people you want? I know you don't really do that. Okay.
I don't really have a. Yeah, I'm always here.
Yep.
I'll always be here.
You'll be here.
Remember, you can never leave.
I mean, if you want to get a hold of Carson or myself, the best way is actually to join the Discord. Link is fixed and it's in the description below. Come join us. Say hi. I try to post. I'm one of those kinds of people that I don't like to post painting miniatures unless I'm done. I just have a thing. But I've been trying to be better and post progress pics. But come say hi and let us know what you want to see for battle reports and different content. We got more videos on the way. Battle report on Thursday. I've got a video on the best place to get into Age of Sigmar lore coming relatively soon. I'm working on it. And yeah, lots of more content on the way. Thanks to everyone for watching. Thanks to my guests. It was a blast. And we'll see you guys next week.
See you.
Bye.